Welcome to CounterCultureWISE, a Stormcat production, with your hosts Melanie Hope and James Monis. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts, our guests, and the dog, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of our platforms, our advertisers, or any other dog.
As you listen today, please remember, we are so much more than a podcast. All of our stories we discuss are linked in our show notes on CounterCultureWISE.com. Visit there for commentary, guest photos and links, animations, and fun merchandise.
If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on our show, contact us via our website. You can also follow us on Twitter, Gab, Instagram, Facebook, and all over social media where we'll post memes, cat pics, and commentary that gets us booted off on a regular basis.
If you're watching our live show, hit like and join the chat. If you're listening dead, well, you can still hit like, share, subscribe, and comment, but please stop voting Democrat. Oh, Max, I love it when you meow us in, buddy. Have a fish teeny and sit back and enjoy the show.
I believe I will, dear mother.
Ah, such a good boy, such a good boy. Well, folks, it's around dinner time here at the old CounterCultureWISE studio, so all the critters will soon be begging us for food, but you will not be begging for crumbs because we've got a full course show for you today. Welcome, everybody, to CounterCultureWISE, the podcast where we just mix it up all over the place. My name is Melanie Hope. I am your hostess with the mostest. And I know that's trite, but I really like saying it for some reason. And to my right is, well, he's my co-host, but he also happens to be my husband and my very best friend, and of course, my sweet baboo, Mr. James Monis.
I just want to say to whoever stole my antidepressants, I hope you're happy now.
So charitable. That one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That actually sounds like something.
I actually had to go down a list of really bad ones to get a good one this time. I was really, I mean, bad isn't just not funny or vulgar or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one. I hope you're happy now. Yeah, well, there you go. Okay. Well, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, we thought that we would go over the big fat quotey fingers interview that we all knew would be a bunch of scripted nonsense and stupid and
I'm going to
whatever,
say I don't know if I should admit this, but I have not seen it.
Okay, well this will be watching it with fresh eyes.
Yeah, and fresh ears and I don't know what happened there. It won't happen again. Sorry, guys.
Fresh ears, fresh eyes, all kinds of things.
And flappy arms, apparently.
And
just
flappy arms knocking things off the desk. Okay,
right,
I might have to excommunicate you from the desk.
I think it's extricate.
Excommunicate?
Whatever. Yeah.
Just extricate would be like to pull it out, but excommunicate means to banish.
Oh, so you really did mean banish?
Yes, like have you behind the door pouting with long cords.
I hope you're happy now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's roll.
All right. Anything we want to catch up on? Any good news? Anything good happening?
Just waiting to start my new job with the state of Texas in about a week. And there's still a possibility I might be working for the Veterans Health Administration, but I'm not holding my breath because then I would,
probably
pass out and then start breathing again.
It is the government.
What's the point?
It is the government.
All
right.
They already asked. They asked me for documents I'd already sent them. It's a good sign.
Actually, that kind of is a good sign.
Well, it is. It
kind
is.
Of is. Yeah. Once you're taking the whiz quiz, you're in, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Jim. I here am going to be working on new videos, new animations, trying to get us a little bit up to date. Might even get a new background here. I have ideas. It's just working them in between my students. And school just started up, so I have lots of students, which is wonderful. And I love each and every one of my kids. There's a few that are my favorites, but I won't tell who they are.
They're all of them.
Shush. I cannot confirm nor deny. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to bring up this video, and Jim said you haven't seen it yet, so
I have not watched this so-called interview yet.
Okay. Well, what I thought was absolutely hilarious is that CNN is so desperate for viewers and so desperate for watch time that they actually broke this 15-minute interview into 3 parts. So you actually have to go watch 3 separate parts to get the full interview.
I'm assuming that's the case if you're watching on YouTube. I'm hoping they didn't break it into different parts on CNN itself.
I honestly don't know. Yeah. I don't watch CNN.
Well, yeah, probably.
All right, so this was just like she's trying to do with the debates. She has all these stipulations. We have to be sitting down, and of course she had to bring her emotional support demon. Vice President. Co-running.
Vice President Pooh Bear.
Okay. Vice President Pooh Bear. All right, so let's give this a whirl.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus.
She brought the bus. And look how excited she is. Oh, look at the bus. Isn't that a wonderful bus? It's my bus. The
What's
wheels
so
and the bus
special
go.
about the bus?
She just loves buses. Haven't you heard her whole thing about
buses
how
and Venn
amazing
diagrams.
buses are?
Right.
Buses and Venn diagrams.
This moment in time.
Loves buses. But look how excited she is about her stupid bus. Okay, I will have to stop this multiple times just because, CNN's are jokes. But bear with me. That's funny that she brought the bus.
The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history.
Well, yeah, because she was switched out like the scene in Temple of Doom.
You're talking about the rock and the
rock and the yeah. That's exactly
that's
what they did.
Excellent. Indiana Jones. I didn't think you'd bring Indy into this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's exactly how I felt she was placed. I mean, she certainly hasn't received any votes ever. Yeah.
The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one?
The voters are eager to hear Beyonce and Pink, and she's basically just having concerts because she doesn't have any content.
The White House.
Day one of the White... She's in the White House now! What is this day one
listeners.
BS? What? Seriously, they keep. What are you going to do on day one?
All of a sudden they're going to give her the keys to the house.
All the things that she's not doing now, apparently she's going to do on day one. Oh, and all the stuff that Trump said because she can't come up with her own ideas. So let's see what cackling Kamala has to say. I haven't even gotten to her first answer.
I know. That's why I said what I said before we started the show. But
how long is this going to take?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at...
You mean the middle class that you completely destroyed? Because thanks for that. You're in office right now.
The aspiration...
I'm doing the Biden creepy whisper now.
Yep.
Hey, little kid, want some chocolate ice cream?
The goals, the ambitions of the American people. I think that people are ready for a new way forward.
New way forward from what you're already doing?
Yeah, I know. It's obvious.
It's like she's running against herself.
She is.
In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is...
So you guys have been in power for the last
3.5 plus
16 years, give or take. Guy gets in there for 3.5 years and he somehow did all the stuff that you did and then some and then some. And now you've been in office for another 4 years and it's still his fault. Okie dokie.
Is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans.
Is it just me, or is this complete
Really
word salad?
dividing our
Word
nation,
salad, but
and I think
she's
people are
just
ready to
like-
turn the
She's
page
just
on
saying-
that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one,
She
it's
put
going
a
to be
crib
about,
from
one,
the
implementing my
box,
plan
you know.
for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard,
She had to ask her
which
the
include
question
what we're going
twice
to do to
because
bring
she was
down
so busy with
the
verbal
cost of everyday
diarrhea
goods,
that
what we're
she
going to
didn't
do to
answer it.
invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families.
I don't want the government invested in my small business. I want the government nowhere near my small business. I do not want the government to possess me in that way. That is called socialism, communism. It doesn't work, guys. Check it out.
For example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000
She stole that from Trump.
for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things.
But if the economy was doing better, rents would go down, and so would housing. And it's not like we don't have enough housing. It's that nobody can afford it, thanks to you.
On day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda, too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be. And I think many of these things that the Vice President's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We did it in Minnesota. To have a federal partner in this, unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back.
Why?
But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more
Yes.
affordable
Yep.
when Donald Trump was president.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost.
Okay.
Whenever a politician says, "Well, let me start by stating the fact,"
you know it's
you
a
know,
lie.
it's not a fact. That goes across the board. That's not just Democrats.
Yeah.
That's every single politician who ever opened their damn yap.
Right.
That's not.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
fact that,
Biden honed the "it's no joke, I'm not lying, I'm not joking." It's like, and
Yeah, and
that
you're
just
lying and you're
basically is
joking and you're blah,
that's
blah.
don't play poker, dude, because you're basically okay. So what she just said is not true.
Okay.
These jobs were not lost. These jobs were taken away by Fauci and
Yeah.
each governor of the states. Okay.
Including Walz.
Including and especially Mr. I'm going to break out the National Guard and
Shoot
shoot,
at people.
paint pellets at people who are on their own patios, who are on their own front
Ooh,
porch.
nice restraint.
The air turned blue, but I pulled it back in.
Which is why her farts are going to be really.
Oh, now.
Hey now.
Hey.
Hey now.
Hey.
Hey now.
Well, it is an F word and it is 4 letters. So.
Well, there you go.
But
There
that's
you
an
go.
absolute lie. And to make it even worse, they extended those lockdowns, made it worse, way worse than it needed to be. And we can go back and we can look at videos and articles of these exact people calling Trump reckless and evil and nasty and what's his name in Florida, saying that he was going to kill everybody, for opening it up. What we did to the kids was torture. We ruined an entire generation of kids by locking down, masking up, and it wasn't warranted. It's because the teachers' unions had so dang much power, and they're all a bunch of wusses that they were so afraid to come to work. They all thought they were going to die. And it's like, oh, get over yourself. What you're doing is torturing children and ruining an entire generation of children. These kids didn't get to go to their prom. They didn't get to go to their graduation. They didn't get to visit their grandma before they died. They were put in boxes. They were put in cages. They were masked up. What we did to these kids was just pure evil. And the face you're looking at right there is one of those demons that did this voluntarily and now are pretending like they weren't part of it.
People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID.
And what would you have done different, Kamala? What would you have done differently, because everybody keeps saying, oh, he mismanaged it, he did it wrong. Well, what did he do wrong? Nobody ever says what they would have done differently. Not a single politician, not a single Twitter warrior. Nobody has come out and said, this is what I would have done and how it would have made it better. All they say is Trump mismanaged it. Well, how? Because when he came out and he said it's from China, you called him racist. When he tried to stop those people from coming here that already had it, you called him racist and said he was an idiot. When he said, oh, hey, let's look at different medications, you called him a fool and tried to say he said drink bleach, which he never did.
Drink bleach,
no matter
swallow
what
horse
he
paste.
did, no matter what he did, you said it was wrong. And he was right on 100% of those things, from ivermectin to the other one, I can't remember, hydrochloro, whatever the heck.
Hydrochloroquaxy,
Still to this day.
Chloroquine.
Masking children, totally not needed, okay? And then watching people like her walk around, do whatever in the heck they want. Nancy Pelosi, go get her hair done, get a blowout, whatever. It didn't apply to them, which means
let's not even talk about Governor Newsom out in California.
Yeah, it didn't apply to them. They weren't afraid of it because they knew it wasn't what they were making. They knew it was just a power move. If these guys, the elites, Nancy Pelosi and Governor Newsom and even Biden himself, Fauci himself, walking around with the mask below their nose, not wearing a mask at all, Bill Gates having a big ass wedding for his daughter, nobody except the black staff, the help, nobody else had to wear masks. And there's video of that, so don't come at me. There is video of that. I've got the receipts. Nobody bought it. Nobody believed it. Nobody who was in the higher echelon and was away from this believed in the whole Rona nonsense. And yet they imposed these restrictions on us to prove that they could control us and to prove that we would turn on each other, and we did.
The economy had crashed.
No, the economy had not crashed. Actually, it was on the uptick thanks to Trump, and then you shut it down again.
In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump.
Okay, so what would you have done better, Cammie? What would you have done better?
Of that crisis. When we came in...
Actually, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. It's not Cammie, it's Kami. Kamala, so...
And our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And
what did you
today,
do?
we know that we have inflation at under 3%.
That's a lie, too. Live fact-checking here. Inflation is not 3%. They have slowed the rate of inflation by 3%. No prices have come down, and they're not going to. Inflation is still way up there and going. All they did was make it not go as fast by 3%. So it's 3%. It's not 3%. It's not even 3% less expensive. It's just 3% not as fast as being so expensive you can't afford it. But we're already past that right now. She's a liar.
A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world.
Receipts.
But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it. Which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging. What we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
You have been vice president for 3.5 years. The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Hello.
Yeah.
Well,
Hello.
first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%.
Is she reading notes?
Oh, yeah. You can tell she keeps looking down. She's got to be reading notes.
Because in all the stills, Dana Bash has notes in front of her, but
No, she keeps looking down. I mean, I would imagine. She needs notes for the debate with Trump coming up. I suppose is what.
If she does it,
By the way,
she's trying to get out of it.
I did want to say, in all fairness, that under questioning by Congress, the guy who heads up Kroger did admit that they held prices higher than they needed to during the COVID pandemic. So she's not entirely wrong, but I don't think the government clamping down and trying to control prices is going to do any good at all.
Every time the government has taken over and done price control, it leads to shortages and starvation. Every time, without fail. And these people are like, well, we didn't do it hard enough. It's like,
yeah, you've done it hard enough. Go ahead.
But it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect the elites at all. They don't even.
That's
She's
how
probably
it's been since
she's
the dawn
probably
of
never
man.
even been to a grocery store.
Work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35.
Trump did that first
that. Stop
day.
taking-
Biden signed an executive order reversing that. Then he just undid his reversal, and now he's taking credit for it.
It's amazing, and it's amazing how many people, how he said, well, I'm the president, or people, his defenders said, he's the president. He doesn't have control over this, that, and the other thing. Then when something happens in this, that, or the other thing that looks favorable, then they take credit for it. Saying,
Yeah.
He did that. Well, no, he either has control over it or he doesn't.
Right.
And
Well, they want the best of both worlds.
Yeah, well,
They want Trump to be
hopefully in November that won't happen.
They want Trump to be thrown under her bus because she has a bus. It's a really nice bus. Did you
Those
see how
bus
big
go
she
round in her
smiled?
head.
You could almost hear Dreamweaver in the background and her hair blowing back when she looked at her bus. Oh, she loves her bus.
A month for seniors. Donald
I
Trump
bet you the minibar is banging on that bus. Woo.
said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened.
It did happen, honey. You reversed that on first. And you know what? Whatever Biden did, I'm just going to say she did because everybody knows Biden wasn't even
Well, she is
alive.
not. She's not differentiating herself at all. So, since she has refused to list very many of her policies, I'm going to safely assume, I believe, that whatever Biden did would be what she would continue to do.
Well, that's what she just said. So
Well.
she basically is Biden, and she's so proud of everything Biden did. And then you see these news articles with headlines and cry-ons like, the Republicans are trying to tie Kamala to Biden as if they're the same. Well, they are.
They are. If you,
I mean,
if,
who's in
if you
charge
don't
of the
differentiate
who's in charge of the world right now? He's out on a beach. He doesn't even know where he is. Basically, he's out there soaking up the sun,
He's
having a
been
jolly
on a
good
beach
time.
in his brain for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know how this even happened.
Yeah, I mean, like
I
the
do, but I
video we
don't.
played last week. I mean, we called that way back when he first started running. The guy has not been with us for a long time. I can't even believe they ran him, but they took the least.
They could have run Warren, for crying out loud. That would have. I mean, at least she's got a brain in her head.
They should have gone with Tulsi. I think they shot themselves in the foot.
Tulsi's on the right side of things now.
Yeah.
We did it. So now,
You didn't.
as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited. I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin.
did that to her, though.
She's
'cause
not
it
doing that
already
anymore.
was
Maintain
capped when he came
Bidenomics.
into office.
Is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000, when we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by
that
over
the third or the fourth
50%,
time she's
when we do what we
fourth
have
time,
done
but I
to invest in the American people
I don't
and
wanna go
bringing
back.
manufacturing back to the
No.
United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs.
No, you didn't. You lying cow. You did not.
Did you just call our sacred Vice President of the United States a cow?
Well, she's
Did
half
you
Indian, so that's actually a very respectful thing to call
Did
her.
you actually assign bovinity to her?
Well, she's got divinity already, so I might as well get bovinity. Besides, cows are gods in her native.
Cows are sacred in her
Yeah,
native land.
so
I'm
that's
kidding, I'm
actually-
kidding. I know it's not really the land. Just leave me alone. Leave me
Cow is
alone.
now spelled with a K.
Oh, Kalmala.
Cowmala.
Kalmala.
Anyways, unfortunate pause. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who have seen that face. on more than one occasion.
The girl ain't ugly, okay?
That's how she got where she is. No, she was a hottie when she was younger, but boy, has she aged. Yeah, I'm not gonna make fun of her because I ain't purdy either. I did not age gracefully.
I disagree.
Well, you actually get paid to disagree. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
However, I disagree.
Okay, well, I'll take your disagreement under discernment.
Well,
Anyways, so yeah, no, the economy. Actually, Chuck has something to say about that. I think we'll probably play him right after this.
Bringing business back to America, what we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, at a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed.
That's not what she asked, son.
Let's be clear. My values have not changed, which means I'm going to do all that stuff I said I was going to do, but I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to do it because that's what you want to hear.
In other words, your values haven't changed. You flip-flopping career politician dork.
I don't think she's even flip-flopping. I think she's just lying.
Yeah, either way.
I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do...
I want to start a business. Call them Kamala croutons. Or, I'm sorry, Kamala croutons. Just to throw on her word salad.
Clever.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we need to do, I think CCW Labs needs to get to work on that.
Well, take note. CCW Labs.
CCW Labs now presents
Kamala croutons for your word salad. I'm sure there's lots of dressing already. Oh.
What we have accomplished thus far, the Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president,
those
now
jobs
I'm
don't
going to ask you to
exist.
pause, which we're thinking, oh, God, I'm pausing so much, but we need to pause.
No.
Every time some politician comes up with an act, it's going to accomplish just the opposite. The Affordable Care Act made healthcare unaffordable.
Yeah.
The
still don't have
Patriot
healthcare.
Act is the most unpatriotic
Oh my goodness! Don't
legislation in the world.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bush. Inflation reduction. Come on, we both know
The Inflation Reduction Act didn't do anything for us. That was just giving a whole bunch of money to Ukraine and now Jerusalem. So.
Yeah.
Did I say Jerusalem? I meant Israel. You know what I meant.
Well, same
diff. Yeah. It didn't help. And, they signed this. They're still happy about this stupid internet accessibility thing. They have not laid a single line, not a single person has been
They scored political points.
Nobody has been connected. Nobody. And we would have benefited from that.
Very much so. I would have been
Thank
happy.
God for Elon Musk, or we wouldn't even be online right now.
Yeah.
But
on the sticks.
Everything they said they were going to do,
we live out where the hillbillies call the sticks.
Yeah, we are definitely in the
are,
sticks.
like, way
we are
out there.
way out there. You hear banjos as you pull into our driveway.
President, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me,
Was it Dana?
I cast the tie-breaking
Not
vote
Dana?
that actually increased leases for fracking as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can
So when you look to
we
the
can
left or
grow
right that
and
you're
we can
lying?
increase a thriving clean energy economy without
Whichever
banning
direction
fracking.
she looks, she's lying.
She's
That's
probably.
oh
All
my
right.
God, that was painful.
That was painful, and
we're
that's just
5
the
minutes in.
And that's just the first one.
Oh my God.
Another issue, big one, is immigration. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
Northern part of Central America.
the northern
in
part
particular,
of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S.
That is a lie, and I have receipts. I have articles. I have video, and Axios
share them all if you
itself.
want.
Yeah, well, no, we have links on our page. You'll see them, and follow Chuck because he really brings home the he does a lot of research. That's a lie. That is a flat out, bald face lie. She's lying, and not a single thing she's saying is true. And I don't even want to go into detail here. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Ooh, Crowder did a good debunk on this as well.
During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings.
I think Dana is trying. I really do. I'm going to give her credit. She's a total TDSer, and she's 100% on Kamala's side. But I think she's trying to at least give the impression that she's.
I give her credit. She was one of the moderators at the Trump-Biden debate. I thought she did a fine job.
She did okay.
You know?
You know, for somebody who has just blind TDS and has literally compared him to Hitler, she was able to be professional, and I do appreciate that about her. The thing I don't like, though, is she doesn't press. You know, when and that's the thing that drives me crazy, and probably why I'll never be in this field. When somebody looks you in the eyes and lies, and you know they're lying, and you can prove on the spot that they're lying, why do you let them? They just move on to the next topic.
Well, it could wind up that they're spending 1 hour on one topic. You get, if you could get
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, well, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if you pushed it, there's a couple of things that would happen. Either one subject would drag it on forever and ever, and you'd lose your audience.
Well, no, you just look at him and say, that was a lie, you're lying. You know you're lying. I know you're lying. So why don't you tell the truth? Why is it important? And she does the same thing with him.
Well,
She doesn't even ask the real question. Listen to how her questions are framed. So sometimes she'll throw one, why didn't you do that? And then she'll just let her give a word salad fluff piece.
Yeah.
And then other times she's like, this is the absolute thing that must blah, blah, yardy, 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 on and on and on, my opinion, my opinion, my opinion, and Orange Man bad. So what say you? It's like it has nothing to do
Well, yeah, but I mean, also, if you push it enough, they might just get up and leave and end the interview, which would
speak volumes.
You got a point.
I don't think Kamala is. She looks like a scared little girl. I mean, she really looks like she's deer in the headlights.
She's out of her league.
I mean, Dana is definitely a stronger woman than she is.
Yeah,
Definitely in charge. And then
Tim
she's
Walz is a stronger woman than she is. Come on, give me a break.
Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Now she's going to lie.
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant.
Okay, she's going to talk about the bill, and I'm going to skip this whole part because it really ticks me off.
They keep saying that Trump shot it down. He didn't.
This bill, and you can ask border security
agents,
themselves, who back Trump, by the way. This bill basically they were saying all they have us doing is making sandwiches and filling out paperwork. This bill would have given another several billion to Ukraine, some to Israel, done a bunch of stuff for hiring more paper pushers, basically declared these people, oh, golly, they're here now, so you might as well keep them. So they kind of redefined asylum. So it pretty much applies to anybody who saunters in from any country. And we do have people from China, all over Africa, everything sauntering in the southern border. So her work in a couple of those southern countries, whatever she did, which I can't even imagine what she could possibly have jurisdiction over.
She didn't tell us what she did. If
No,
she
and
did
she
anything,
never
I would have
will.
loved to have heard it.
And she never will, because she didn't do anything. I have video of her. I actually downloaded it because I thought it was so hilarious. I forget exactly where she was, but it's one of the Spanish-speaking countries. And she's walking out of an official building, and there's a band, a street band there. And he starts playing a song asking her, where the heck she's been and what she's going to do, and it's basically, a
protest song.
A protest song against her. And she's smiling and clapping because she has no idea. She's completely clueless until somebody leans in and whispers in her ear, and then she kind of gets that I'm not going to stop smiling because I don't want people to realize that I just learned something that isn't good.
And I'm going to look stupid.
But she does stop clapping. And what's really funny is her aide, or whoever the guy was with her, he basically just watches her do whatever she does, and he mimics it like a monkey. And so she's clapping and smiling, and he's like, okay, now I'm clapping and smiling. And then she gets that fake smile and stops clapping, and he just kind of puts his hands down, and then they're just kind of sit there kind of fake smiling while this guy is singing a protest song. I thought it was hilarious. I should play that video. I'll bring it up another time.
We're going to skip the whole response to this.
So anyways, she blames Trump for things that this bill just enabled them to make more sandwiches and do more paperwork. That's all it did. It did not build a wall. It did not close the border. It did not deport anyone. They redefined illegal immigrant or alien as it is in the actual law, and allotted a tiny portion of money to get more paper pushers and sandwich makers so you could house more of these, people from all over the world, and didn't do anything to stop immigration. It did nothing. And when she goes into the numbers about, it's way down. Well, yeah, when you say you're no longer an illegal immigrant, you're now an asylum seeker, hopeful candidate, whatever. They just renamed them and said, now the numbers are different. They did the same thing with violent crime. They redefined what a violent crime is and then said, hey, look,
and
crime's way down.
Removed entire categories, if I remember correctly.
Cities like New York City,
Well, yeah.
Chicago, Los Angeles, removed them and said, hey, look, crime's way down. I don't know what's wrong with you. We did this all. Okay, so I'm going to skip a little bit here.
You would push that legislation again. I just want to
Not
ask
only
about
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
just one other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
Yeah, she believes that.
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced
You've never done it,
that
though.
address and deal with people who cross our border illegally, and there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race,
How are we going to have a little girl running the country who talks like this?
I noticed the same pattern. She does this all the time, and you can tell they're not sure of themselves when they talk like. I mean, I talk like that too sometimes. It's normal to do it once in a while, but
The only reason you would upspeak like that all the time, and then she also does the vocal fry thing, is because you're insecure, you know you're a phony, and you don't have what it takes. And that's at something as simple as just an interview. She wants to run the most powerful nation on the planet. And she can't even get through an interview without talking like a little
most powerful
girl.
nation on the planet. She's going to run China.
Okay, you kind of got me on that one.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's nothing I ever wanted to get anybody on, by the way.
No. But thanks to them and all the money that the Bidens took from China and sold to the, yeah.
I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our law.
Yeah, Trump was never Attorney General. You're right. You got us on that one.
Yeah.
He was never Attorney General of California. That's for sure.
Have you been to California lately? I wouldn't use that as a brag.
I gotta be honest, and this is true to the core of my soul. I think about the California now versus California when I was living there as a child. It just breaks my heart.
Oh, me too.
It's like it was paradise on earth.
I feel the same thing about Washington State. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
paradise as far as the weather goes, but I remember spending all day in downtown Seattle. You know, we'd ride the bus and go to Pike Place and just ride elevators and look at things
even
and
when
never fear for our lives.
Yeah.
And
I
now
mean,
you
I
do.
remember-
There's feces and needles and,
Yeah.
and the
See,
smell of urine everywhere.
I'd be afraid to go now. I mean, when you and I started dating, I mean, we went to Westlake Center for Christmas. It was a beautiful
Yeah,
tradition.
the
We had
carousel,
such an amazing
it
time.
was
Westlake
lovely.
Center was one of my favorite things to do.
Me
You
too.
get on the rail. You come into you just go to Westlake Center, visit.
I even got to
Frederick and Nelson.
I
or
got to ride the
Macy's,
bubble
as it
later
is now,
before they took it out, and
Yeah.
you know the monorail and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just none of it's there now. I mean, it's just the fountain doesn't go anymore. There's graffiti everywhere.
And Pioneer Square, forget about it.
Yeah, and half the businesses are shut down, and yeah, it's really really sad. And you know, California's every bit. I would not use California as a brag. I just
And I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize
why would you enforce them?
Don't do it now. Why bother now?
Yeah.
the problem.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary?
Get it.
It's really
And
desperate.
should
Get
they
it,
feel
girl.
comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think
trying to give her
the
a
most
yes or no
important
question
and most
because she knows
significant
that
aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal.
You don't have any.
I have always believed, and I
My
have worked
values
on
have not
it,
changed.
that the
I would
climate
get on
crisis
my
is
knees
real,
for any position.
that it is an urgent matter
Promise me the
to which we should
presidency, I would
apply
take it.
metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time.
What the hell did she just say?
Deadlines around time.
She needs to stop using the word time.
She needs to stop using words. Maybe if she learned sign language, she deadlines around time. As opposed to
That was
all
one of those things
other
I
deadlines.
actually was starting to fade out on the I listened to what she was saying, and then she said, I'm like, what'd she say? I'm like, what the poop was that? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Let's see if the passage of time is significant. I'm curious if she goes
Give
into
me
that.
one moment in
You know,
time.
you know how the passage of time is significant in this
Because it's
moment because the
significant in the
significance of
passage
the
of time.
passage of time. Yes.
That with the Inflation Reduction Act, we have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General.
That's not a
Attorney
value.
General of California, even if it were of value, what's that got to do with
Well,
immigration?
my value around the border, walls are racist. Nobody's illegal. I mean, if you've changed any of those words, you're lying. Your values change with the wind. They change based on what you want and how much power you can get. You don't have any values. You never have. You say stuff that make people go, ooh. And that's it. That's all you do. You have no values.
California, prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the...
You know, she says she did that, but there's no proof of that.
I haven't looked. To be fair, I have not looked. I don't know.
Nobody has found any evidence that she ever worked at McDonald's either, so that's still up in the air.
For crying out loud. I give a crap if she worked at McDonald's.
Well, I mean, if they're going to lie about stupid little things like that and get away with it, that means they can lie about gigantic things
we
like
already
this.
have a king liar running for vice president here. He's a piece of work.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah.
Watch out. You think this? I mean,
They're trying to say that this
they appear very pleasant. They appear very happy and joyful, but he's kind of a monster with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
That video that we played
illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. And 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17 times since I've been vice president in Georgia alone. I believe it is
17 times to Georgia, once to the border, but not where the issue is. We need a cough button.
I do. I'm just so casual tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels like we're talking.
Leaving on the midnight train.
Yeah, 17 times to Georgia, once to the border, and not even where the problem is.
It is important to build consensus, and it is important to find a common place of understanding.
So not only do we have to have a consensus, but we also need a common place of understanding for those deadlines around time.
Which is very significant.
Yes. The passage of time is significant.
My head hurts.
Oh my God, this woman.
Of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
yes,
in mind?
I would. No one in particular.
Not a real Republican. Probably like, what's her name?
One of those rhinos.
Yeah. What's her name? The blonde broad.
What's her name? The blonde broad? There's a few of those.
Whose daddy ran for
Cheney.
Yeah. Yeah, her.
Liz Cheney. I'm Liz Cheney. Yes, I'm the Liz Cheney.
Sure, I'll put a Democrat in there. She's thinking, Cheney, Romney.
The usual gang.
Turtle Boy who keeps having shutdowns. Yeah.
Mine, we got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump.
Okay.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah. She thinks that she handled this so well. She's really proud of how she handled this. So this is a big moment. Be prepared because she's really proud of how she handled this. Shall I hold my breath?
Or will I turn blue and pass out and start breathing again?
No, actually, it's probably the least salady thing she's ever said.
I'm barely prepared, but let's hear it.
Any same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
So, what playbook? Whose playbook?
That was actually a clever response.
She was told to. She was given that response.
Yeah, it's a clever response. It wasn't hers. You're right.
Well, but okay. What playbook though? What the hell is she talking about?
She's talking about Trump has this way of saying things without saying them. He can insinuate things, but not say. I'm just saying. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. He does that a lot.
Yeah.
And
people say
that I do this, and I maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. So she's, and because he does that, people can sometimes interpret what he says pretty much any way they want to push their own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
He has been accused of being racist over and over again for saying extremely non-racist things.
Well, right.
You know, the entire...
Which is weird,
the
considering how
good
many
people on
awards
both
he's
sides
won
thing.
and all the,
Oh, yeah, they
the
loved him
black
until he ran
leaders
for
that loved him
president.
until he
But
ran for president.
But that was her response. You know, same thing as always. And so I think it was smart of her to just deflect that. To be honest, I mean, that was a decent response.
Okay.
In that context.
Yeah. I think because she can't speak to it because she knows it's true.
Let's talk about some foreign policy issues that would be on
Oh, God, dude, look how proud she is of herself.
your plate if you become
look on her
commander in
face is
chief.
like, I did it.
President Biden has
I
tried
did it.
unsuccessfully
I got to
to
use the
end the
word.
war between Israel and Hamas in
You know the only reason she wants, because now she's demanding that the mics be on. Before it was the mics had to be off, but now she's demanding that the mics be on. And the single reason, and we all know it, the single reason she wants that is so that at some point she can put up her little hand and say, I'm speaking.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. She wants that moment. And everybody's going to be just sitting there with their popcorn dribbling down their chin and their fingernails dug into the chair, just waiting for that.
I can't wait. Seriously.
I'll probably be working, but we'll go over it.
We won't go over it too much in the moment because we're still going over this, but
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
he needs to do what he did
With
to
Biden.
Biden and just let her
When-
talk herself into the
Yeah,
hole.
when your enemy is making a mistake, just sit back and let them. I think she's going to try to weasel her way out of it, though. She's going to keep putting stipulations, and Trump's going to finally say, I don't think so. And she's going to be like, well, he's just too big of a chicken to because he's agreed to everything. He's offered three more,
there need to be
and
more
she
than-
said no. Well, the thing that I despise about the current system is we now have states that have early voting so early that it's before any debates.
I know.
So they're literally voting blindly based on an earworm or just based on a cult.
Soundbite, right.
And you know who the early voters vote for. Because only somebody who has no desire to pay attention to the reality, who has no interest in learning about the candidate, only somebody who is so lazy and ill-informed that they're willing to put themselves in the hands of just, I don't care, blue, no matter who, that those people are mentally ill and they shouldn't be allowed to vote. I don't believe in early voting. I think that's garbage.
No, I believe in voting on voting day in person, unless you're an invalid or overseas. Or
I don't want uninformed voters. I'm going to be honest. If you're so ill-informed that you're willing to throw your vote away months before you even learn what the candidate has to say, you should. Those ballots should just be thrown away. They should, because they're garbage. They're garbage ballots. They're bought ballots. They're literally paid for by a cult. And I don't care which way you're voting, even if it favored conservatives,
it
I
doesn't
still
matter.
think it's wrong.
It's the idea. It's the concept.
Yeah, learn something. Open, because you and I will get the voter's guide and we'll literally sit down and go over it and talk it over and decide all the way down the ballot which way we're going to vote, and we may not agree.
Sometimes we'd
we
have it.
negate each other's votes.
Which is fine. That's America. But I think it is. I don't think you should be forced to do it because that's not America. But I think it is very, very wise to consider the issues, consider the candidates, consider their experiences, their stands, their stated positions, because you don't know how they're really going to be when they get elected.
But what we've got are people who create problems and then promise to solve them once they're back in office.
I know.
And
We have a prime example.
vote for
in
that.
Ms. Harris. Ms.
Yeah,
Harris is a perfect
she's literally
example of that.
running against herself. Well, I'm going to fix this problem that I created. Okay.
Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything different?
The war would be over. In fact, it wouldn't have even happened if Trump were in office. The same with
And I
Russia.
guarantee you, if he takes office in January, all the spigot gets shut off. No more cash flowing freely into Ukraine. If we continue to support Israel financially, it's going to be with reasonable restraints.
They've already drafted the impeachment papers. just in case he accidentally gets voted in. They've already
course they
drafted the
have.
papers, and they're bragging about it.
For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But let's take
Well, she just lost all the Nazis,
Well,
which is about half her party.
a step back. October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would.
They should have turned God
And how it
into
does so
glass.
matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we
No, they're not innocent. They voted for Hamas, and almost all of them said they would do it again. They are not innocent. They invaded a land that is not theirs, claimed it as their own, pretended for so long that now they've got a bunch of dumb college kids believing that Palestine is a thing. It's not. And then they train their children to hate Jews. There's video after video after video of little teeny tiny children
being indoctrinated.
saying just horrible things. And Israel's just supposed to sit there completely surrounded by warmongering Muslims, these crazy cultists that worship a dog-hating pedophile that just invented a religion out of thin air and then started slaughtering Christians and Jews. They think that's groovy. Meanwhile, Israel is just doing the best they can with their land that they have had centuries before Muhammad was even a gleam in his I so want to say goat effing father's eye, but I cannot confirm nor deny that those guys go for
you've
the
gone
goats.
pretty far already.
Yeah, I've gone pretty far already, but she had jihad me. I don't care. You know it's true. You can look it up. I've read the Quran. I've read the history of his life where he came up with the idea, how he had to hide in caves and, try to get his family involved. They didn't believe it. It's like, this religion is a religion of hatred and force. And it is not racism to say so. It is an ideology. It is not a race. And I'm getting pretty dang sick of people calling Muslims a certain race because there's red, yellow, black, white, purple, orange Muslims out there. I've have students whose family are Muslim. And here in America, where there's a lot of opportunity, they kind of become sort of kind of Muslim, but
It's different here in the States. by and
kind
large.
of. The thing is, when you start importing literal cavemen, like literal cavemen who have not changed their values, their desires, the way they treat women, each other, the way they look at society as a whole, their religion dictates that they take over the government. That is their mandate. They are sinning if they're not trying to do that. And they have, I can't remember what the word is, but there's a specific word that basically means, yes, if you have to lie to the infidels, tell them whatever they need to hear in order for you to take over. And it's happening. Now, I'm not calling her a Muslim or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying Israel is protecting itself on all sides from evil. And I'm not, the thing is, they have a better GDP than we do. They're doing fine.
Yeah.
Just let them do what they need to do. But this thing with,
We shouldn't be hamstringing them.
we should get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
But we never should have let it happen in the first place. And all of these kids on the college campuses waving their pro-Hamas signs, I say send them over there. They're so passionate about it. Go over there and help them. If you really honestly believe that you need to go over there and genocide the rightful owners of that land, the people who that land was promised to millennia ago, knock yourself out. off you go. We don't want that noise here. Now, she's trying really hard, and, God bless her for this. She's trying really hard to take it's never going to be a two-state solution. It's not going to happen, okay? Because it goes against Islam. It goes against Islam to be in a two-state situation. They either need to turn Gaza to glass, reclaim it, and build the wall around it from the river to the sea, or they need to... The whole thing with, we're in an open-air prison, blah, blah, blah. Honey, you can leave. You are completely surrounded by other Islamic states. You can go anywhere. The Jews have Israel. Accepted. The Jews have Israel in most of New York. That's it. That's all they have on the whole planet. And that was promised to them way before your cult ever became a thing. So, yeah, we should support them. No, we shouldn't be, paying them off. But should we be pandering to the point where we're actually negotiating with terrorists? Because that's what he's doing. Or I say he with big fat quotey fingers because I'm not really sure who's running the country. But she's going to talk about, we just had an American citizen slaughtered. Just, yesterday? Because of the Harris-Biden cabal, their weak foreign policy, and their desire to negotiate with terrorists. The USA was known for not negotiating with terrorists. We go in there, we snipe the SOB who's holding them, we grab them and we get them out. That is what we do. Now we're trading the merchant of death for a barely passing
basketball player,
WNBA, pot smoking, America hating. This is ridiculous. We're negotiating with terrorists. And you know what happens? If that works and they get all the stuff they want, well, they'll just take more and more and more hostages because it works. Wouldn't you?
Of course.
It's like a Pavlovian response. You press the lever, you get a pellet. They keep pressing the dang lever, and we just keep giving them whatever they want. And now they're slaughtering American citizens because of you, Harris, because of you and your sock puppets' weakness. This never would have happened under a Trump administration. Never would have happened.
We've got to get a deal done. We were in Doha.
There won't be a deal.
We have to get a deal done. This war must end.
In the meantime,
and we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out. I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal done. When you look at the significance of this to the families, to the people who are living in that region, a deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8 to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution, where Israel is secure and in equal measure, the Palestinians have security and self-determination and dignity.
Self-determine themselves to another Arab state. Off you go. Bye-bye. And that was part 2.
That was only part 2?
Well, what's really sad is it's only 16 minutes total. No.
And we're turning this into a 3-hour extravaganza.
The country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the...
If you were so proud, then why did you have to lie about your rank? And why did you have to lie about where you were deployed?
I don't understand that.
And why did you have to lie about...
And I cannot get over this. He served our country for over 2 decades. That is a marvelous, wonderful thing. And you got to go around and screw it up?
Well, I don't understand what the need to lie was, because service was incredible. I mean, the rank
I'm not
he
taking that
achieved in-
away from him.
No.
He's taking it away from him.
And that's the thing that's driving me crazy is that the lefties are all like, oh, you're putting down him for his service, this and that. No, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about the fact that he lied. Stolen valor. You said you were places, or you insinuated. You misspoke multiple times in many
if it was just
venues.
a one-off, might be able to be.
If it was a one-off and it was unclear, that's one thing. But he said it over and over and over and over again, and he's a gun grabber, and he's using that to try to grab guns when he couldn't even grab his own.
So what's his answer?
Governor, my record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do.
Oh, too bad
I
Dom.
despise it when
Too
politicians
bad Dom
say my record
DeLuise
speaks.
couldn't play him in the movie version.
He literally looks like Dick Cheney. I mean, he looks just like Dick Cheney.
He does
He's going to
kinda.
be another Dick Cheney. Oh, God.
And his wife is a dead ringer for Hillary.
I know.
I mean, the Dems are getting everything they want.
I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about.
You made a crack about the couch thing, which not only is repugnant,
kind of a low blow.
it's repugnant. And you're a grown-ass man. You don't have to play those little Twitter meme games. I mean, come on.
About our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war,
Yeah.
did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And
you said
my
it
wife,
over
the
and
English,
over
she
and
told me my
over and
grammar's
over
not
and
always
over
correct.
and
But
no,
again,
this wasn't a
if
one-off.
it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that.
Hurt his dog.
I don't know what the dog thing is about.
I don't know what the child thing is about
No,
either.
the child thing I understand. It was his son reacted emotionally to Walz's speech.
People said something
And-
about that?
Yeah.
I don't
Ann
understand.
Coulter, who I do not like,
Oh, I can't stand her.
said, talk about weird. Because this kid is neurodivergent,
Well, right.
it was wrong for her to do that.
No, it was. And the thing is, I do remember that. She took it down right away because she didn't know. She didn't know. So,
Well,
and the reason, I mean, then she came back and kind of doubled down, but she did delete that particular
Mm-hmm.
tweet because she didn't know. Still,
I'm sorry.
It's a
I said
kid.
this on-
It's a kid. He's getting
I
emotional.
said this
Why-
to my liberal friends, my Harris supporting friends. I said, I'm on your side for this one because
yeah, I don't get that at all.
All politicians are fair game. Their children are not.
Right.
I was not happy when when I was a kid, people were making cracks about how ugly Amy Carter was. And they were making cracks about, Bill and Hillary's daughter, Chelsea.
Okay,
Now,
we do get
or-
to make cracks about crackheads that are adults, though.
Well, no,
That-
once they've become adults, that's I'm talking about their kids under 18 who don't have any choice.
Right.
Malik and whoever their names were, Obama's kids, they're
I
off
don't-
limits.
yeah, I don't remember
Frickin'
anybody-
Barron was off limits.
Well, he would have been, but they kept wanting to throw him in a wood chipper and have him be raped and all kinds of stuff. Nobody
Yeah.
ever said anything about the Obama children, other than the crazy ones who said that they were rented and not really theirs.
yeah, well,
But you can't look at like
if you're gonna
a
if you're
point
gonna
of a
attack
percentage
somebody,
of-
attack them on the
no,
issues.
those are what you call frivolous, whatever. But yeah, well, first of all, we shouldn't be attacking anybody. We should be discussing, and we shouldn't be lying. That's what gets me is why lie about the little things? Why is that important for people to believe that you were a different rank than you actually were when the rank that you actually were is very impressive?
He had a very. And
Why-
I mean, I still respect him for that. What I don't respect is why you have to polish your apples.
Well, yeah. Tell a
And-
fishtail. It's like,
It's
but
like-
and do you not understand that people can check that? Do you not get
That's
that?
public record. My military service is public record.
Yeah.
It's
And there's no reason. Like I said, his service was impressive enough. But now I think they're systematically doing this because they're trying to say that conservatives are attacking him for his service, which is not true.
Right.
That's completely not even on the table.
It's chess. It's 4D chess.
I feel like they're playing chess, though. I feel like they're playing. Well, in
Tiddlywinks?
Kamala's case, hide the salami, but hide and seek, or I don't something where you just lie and then gaslight people into believing that it actually happened. I think they are the party of gaslighting.
And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
My grammar, seriously, him flat out lying about his rank, about how and where he served, about being in a war zone is a grammar issue. Seriously?
There are enough people.
One
who believe
other
that.
question, because again, this is all
Be
new.
a Chiron writer for CNN.
This was not, however many days ago, this was not on either of your bingo cards, especially yours. You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children.
I could not care less.
And then when you ran for
less.
Congress in 2006,
Absolutely.
your campaign
Nitpicking
repeatedly
stupidity.
I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The vice president's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think
Truly.
I think that the IVF thing is a really tiny portion because
It's virtually insignificant. I mean, it's for me. It's all the
I
context.
kind of sort of get if you really push it that, if they don't use all of the fertilized eggs, you're technically terminating a pregnancy, I guess. But if it's not actually in the womb and it hasn't,
Gestated.
well, I'm going to say implanted, but it actually has to take, it actually has to become part of the mother in order for it to start to become a human being. I'm not seeing that the same way as I am, going in there and smashing the head until the brains seep out and then sucking the pieces out one at a time.
Wow.
That's literally what they do, though.
I know. It is
That's
what they
literally what they do. That's different. It has fingers with fingerprints. It has its own DNA. It's developing. It has a heartbeat. Okay, that's different than some frozen fertilized egg.
do. Right.
I have no problem with IVF. Let's make more babies. Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's get these babies made.
He cares so deeply about the American people.
And by the way, Trump hasn't even mentioned it. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, either he hasn't mentioned it or he's for it, but she lies.
Yeah.
She takes his policies and then lies about his.
is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room.
Are you saying that,
He has.
Oh, yeah.
that he's an intelligent man?
Yeah.
the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American
This is so rich.
people?
No, not at all. Not at
I have absolutely no regrets that I looked you in the eyes and lied through my teeth. And you know what? I'm going to show you just how good I am at it. Watch this.
all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people.
He has never been known for his intelligence. I don't think he even makes the top 50 of the most intelligent presidents that the country has
I know he
had.
hasn't even been 50.
That's kind of my point. That's kind of my point. Yeah, I don't.
He's the 48th
Trump
smartest
Trump, I
president
believe,
we've
was
ever
in the
had.
top 5, if not the top
Well,
10. But I don't think
know
Biden
what
even
his
makes
IQ
it.
is. I know Clinton's was high. I know Bush's was higher than people thought. I'm
Yeah,
talking
Well, he
about
played-
Junior Bush.
He played a part. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking. There,
We'll have to look that up
you don't have
sometime.
to be a genius to be president.
Well,
You don't. It doesn't require genius.
that's true because some of the most intelligent people I know, like actual Mensa members, are totally bumbling doo-doo head sometimes. And who wants a bumbling doo-doo head running? Oh, wait, we already have a bumbling doo-doo head running. Never mind. The supposedly, quote, quote. Yeah, so here she goes. Lie, lie, lie.
And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that.
Oh.
And so...
you know that because you've sat in the Situation Room with him? You sat in the Oval Office with him? You know that because you've never met him? You've never actually met him?
One, I am so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I am so proud to be running with Tim Walz for president of the United States and to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward, and turn the page on the last decade of...
Biden? What are you talking about?
And so we got to fix all the things that she broke. We got to go a new way forward. So whatever you just saw for the last 4 years, we're going to do something different. Wink, wink.
What I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some
You tried,
suggestion
Dana. You tried,
Warped,
Dana.
I believe
gotta
it to
hand it.
be.
You tried, hun. You tried.
that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake.
And you're the beater downer, sometimes the beater offer, and Trump is the builder upper.
And I'm the quicker picker up.
You
You knew that was coming.
the quicker picker up. Not as quick as I'd like, but yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm pretty slow at picking up. But
Yeah.
that's another story.
We're almost there,
This
folks.
is almost over.
I
Take as
know.
much as any other detail that we could discuss in this election.
Because we haven't had a chance to talk, I'm just curious, staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did
Oh my God, this is so great. Okay, so it was a Sunday and the sun was shining and I'd just gotten my nails done and we were making pancakes and then the waffle guy came and did a little dance and there was bacon. So,
Okay, you got
you're
my
gonna
attention with bacon
You're going to
and
be
waffles.
at the edge of your seat. You're going to love this story. This is hilarious.
he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday.
It's always a Sunday.
So here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing.
So too much information is like,
Telling the truth, maybe.
we're arguing or we have money problems or whatever. Her too much information is bacon. I'm not even joking.
Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces. And we had just had pancakes and, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And
Told you what
But did
they
we
had
get-
decided to force him to
did
do.
we
I
get
asked him, "Are you
bacon?"
sure?"
Are you
And he
sure?
said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
And he was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you,
have
he
a
said, I'm
choice.
pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you.
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him, to be honest. I think
Now, I think she was honest there.
Yeah.
That looked like her first honest moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to hand that to her. That looked like her first honest moment. Well, we have
That's
an
why I said
actual-
hello, folks, is because
we have an
there was
actual audience member, like a
Yeah.
live audience.
He has a long, bushy tail.
yeah.
And a cute little squirrely face.
Yeah, and big old paws. Look at the size of those things.
He's a big one.
So I have a bird water dish, supposedly, right outside my window on top of the AC unit that we have to turn off. You're welcome. And the squirrels have discovered it, and apparently the squirrels are very thirsty. So this squirrel is not afraid of us.
I'm going to have to fill this up more often.
Yeah.
now.
Yep, so they just hop right on up there, drink their fill. Well, I gave them another little bird bathy thing out there, but it's on the ground. I think they like to be up high better. So I'm going to find one that actually hangs from a tree that they can get to. So our squirrelies will have water here.
We love squirrels at CounterCultureWISE.
We don't mind the squirrels. I don't like them when they destroy my bird feeders, but we've come to an agreement.
Yeah.
They get our scraps and whatnot, and so do the deer.
They get a lot of table scraps.
Yeah,
The deer do too.
lots of fruit.
I'm sure when we're not looking, the deer walk by. And
Oh yeah,
chew
and
'em it
bird
up,
seed. I'm
too.
sure there's skunks and armadillos and God knows what else out there, but
We should just sit out there with a camera and a long lens.
we
and
should, yeah.
Just quietly sit and watch.
I mean, you kind of get a little bit of the lay of the land in our intro, but it's a lot more bushy and tree-y in the front than in the back. All right, let's finish this train wreck. Six more minutes to go.
History is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency.
Sorry, 3 more minutes to go.
I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative, be it on
Transformed us right into a depression.
what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies.
Name one thing that the infrastructure bill has built. A single bridge.
I think there was a
single
playground
road.
in Poughkeepsie somewhere.
No,
No?
no. A single clean waterway, a single light rail.
So who's pocketing all this money?
Ukraine and Biden.
Okay.
New industries,
Probably little
what we
Nancy,
have
probably
done
little her.
to bring our
I mean, think about it. They despise Trump for being a billionaire who comes into office and leaves broke. But they're all for folks like Nancy and her and Boyne coming in with little money and leaving literal million and billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So they come in and they make money. But the guy who comes in and actually works for the country and, they lawfare him into oblivion, who ends up, pretty much going bankrupt thanks to them and their corruption.
And didn't
The
they
guy
have
who
to change
donated
the
his
law-
salary.
They changed the law in order to make him a felon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they had to ignore the statute of limitations and change the law and come up with a different definition for some things. And then what they did is they kind of took a whole bunch of misdemeanors, which literally was one charge, but he just charged it over and over and over again. Like, let's say as an accountant, you do what's called double entry bookkeeping.
Right,
So you
right,
have to hit cash and then whatever the account is that you're paying for. So they would take every single one of those line items and consider that a separate. Okay, so you can take one, let's say it went to multiple places, and you can turn that single entry into 94 misdemeanors,
Right.
and then scrape them all up together into a heap and say, okay, now we're going to smoosh that together like it's clay and call that a felony. And that's basically what they did. and the thing is if they are able to do that to him, they can do that to pretty much anybody. And if they're doing that to pretty much anybody, then there's going to be no business in New York. And it's starting. Mark my words, it's starting.
allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America and grow that alliance, what we have done to stand true to our
I don't want to listen to any more of her. Am I
done.
alone? I'm kind of done. She's it's just she's so good at lying. What say you that we head on over into my favorite?
CounterCultureWISE is proud to present News of the Weird and Wonderful. Here are your hosts, Melanie Hope and Jim Monis.
I know this first story is going to be near and dear to your heart because this is one of your favorite things, and if you were to come across an entire freeway covered,
With this fine delicacy.
yes, I think you'd be a happy camper.
I'd be a very happy camper. Now, I do want to share one quick story, though. One time, Melanie and I went to Jack in the Box restaurant, and she wanted to order fries with her burger, and so she offered to share her fries with me, and I pretty much devoured 75% of them.
Yes.
So that has become a verb in our relationship.
Don't
French fry.
French fry
Don't
this.
French fry.
It wasn't. We weren't actually in. It was the drive-through.
I was
And I was
drive-through.
driving, and you ate. You're like, oh, I'll just have some of your fries, and you ate them all.
So I order my own fries now, or onion rings, or whatever
Well, and the
it is.
sad thing is, folks, you got to understand. I know I look like I eat a lot, but for me, the fries were the meal. I didn't even order a burger, and he ate all my fries
And my burger.
and his burger
'Cause,
and
you know,
the.
You don't
yeah.
don't go to Jack in the Crack for a Caesar salad.
No, you go for their crappy tacos, which
Yeah,
are
they're awful tacos, which are made with God knows what,
have
but
no
beef has
idea.
very little to do with it.
Yeah, I
and,
have no idea
but
what
they're
that meat is.
delicious, and so we devour those too.
No idea what that meat is. So, anyways,
That,
French
that's the
fries. Why
background.
are we
French
talking
fries.
about French fries?
This is why we're talking about French fries. We have 2 California crash food stories. This is the first one.
California crash foods? Huh.
A
I wonder-
Los Angeles highway was backed up for miles during the morning commute on August 30th after a crashed semi-truck covered the roadway in boxes of French fries. Yarm. The California Highway Patrol said the truck crashed about 3:20 a.m. Wait a minute. It crashed on 3:20 a.m. and there was back. Oh, forget it. It was L.A. Never mind.
It's LA, yeah.
Near Stadium Way, spread dozens of boxes of fries across the roadway. Traffic was backed up for several miles during the morning commute while crews worked to clear the freeway.
Believe it or not, I
spuds.
actually have video of this.
There's video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, the video's pretty brief, but it at least gives you the idea. They're frozen fries. Look at all those fries. I wonder what they did with them. I hope they donated them somewhere. Or, I mean,
Don't
they
know.
look like they're all in packages, so that they would
They'd
still be okay.
They'd still be edible, but there's a lot of laws
And-
involving that, especially in California.
Was
They-
the
they-
driver okay?
Doesn't
No
say.
injuries were reported because that truck is
That-
toast.
Yeah, that truck got
What
hurt.
caused that? Because it doesn't look like he hit anything. Was it because of no? Because
It
he's
just
pretty
says the truck
munched.
crashed. It didn't say what it crashed
Yeah,
into.
what did it crash into?
Yeah, it's not very complete.
Anyways, that is a lot of French fries. Lots of French
That is
fries.
more than one Happy Meal there. Yes.
More than one Happy Meal. Okay, but not to be outdone. Not to be outdone. Also in California, Californication. Does that count?
This one's funny.
Okay, hold on. My screen is all jacked up. So, red pepper spill on a California highway. Oh my, believe it or not, I have video on this one too. Turns into a bee emergency. So this was a double dipper. So apparently this truck smacks into something, but part of it was the signpost that it smacked into. So this tips over, spilling red peppers all over the place. And then when they respond, they find out that there's a giant beehive
That was
in the
sign pole.
signpost. So they had to send a rescue crew to get these bees and relocate them because we don't want to just kill the darn things.
Right,
They're,
right.
we need the bees. So they actually had a bee rescue come out.
Vacuum 'em
In
up.
a way, as much as I hate to say it, it's kind of a good thing that it exposed them because they probably weren't in ideal situation.
Right.
Anyways, I think I have video of that too. Yeah, there it is. Southbound U.S. Look at that. Those are all chili peppers. And what's really funny is you can't really make out what they are. So all of the jokes in the chat are variations of, oh, that's a berry bag, because I think they thought it was berries. I'm like, we could have done more with jalapenos, but yeah, chili peppers, red chili, probably. Do you know what's going to happen now?
What?
There's going to be a sriracha shortage. Or
Well,
Tabasco. Mark my
Hold on to
words.
your rooster sauce.
Go get rooster sauce and Tabasco now while you can. You heard it from me first. And while you're at it, get toilet paper because, you always need that.
They go hand in hand. Or hand
They
in butter,
go
or
hand in
whatever.
hand. Okay, so this one also, I believe they said there were no injuries were reported from the crash or the ensuing bee rescue. I appreciate them letting us know that the bees are fine. Yay, bees.
All right, here's a story about a fat and bald thing like me.
Oh, now.
All right.
This is such a great story. I love this story.
Wildlife officials in Missouri rescued what they thought was an injured and flightless bald eagle, only to discover it had gorged itself on roadkill raccoon and was too fat to fly.
A raccoon, that's significant size.
Most raccoons are gigantic.
Yeah.
The bird was spotted on the ground near the boundary of Wilson's Creek National Battlefield in Springfield, site of the first major Civil War engagement west of the Mississippi River in 1861. Okay.
That's completely unrelated to the story, but okay.
But hey, I guess it's an important part.
That's when you get the kid that always did his report late and just kind of had to add fluff in there to meet word count.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a word count thing. Rangers from Missouri Department of Conservation, working with National Park Service staff, captured and transported to Dickerson Park Zoo for examination and x-rays. Dickerson Park Zoo, by the way, is where they have a special spotted tiger. I'm just making that up as I go along.
Quick pause to turn off the AC so that now you can hear us.
Hey,
all
right.
Welcome
back.
back.
I was joking about the thing at Dickerson Park Zoo. I was just like expanding on it like Dude did in the article. Veterinarians expecting images of broken wings or other trauma instead found themselves looking at a succession of photographs of the remains of the eagle's most recent meal. Bleh. Namely, a raccoon's leg and paw and his distended stomach.
So apparently eagles don't chew.
The bird, originally reported to be injured, was found to be healthy but engorged with raccoon. In other words, too fat to fly. That's okay. I'm too fat to fly, too.
See, that would never happen around here because of all the vultures.
That's true.
Although
vultures are the state bird here, by the way.
They didn't numb on the deer. I mean, we just watched those deer just
go away slowly,
decompose
slowly. Yeah,
I was
there were a couple
really
of deer on the side
that
of the highway near our house, and there's just
2 of them, and they're about, I'd say, a quarter mile away from each other. But I'm really surprised that the vultures didn't come after them because they always come after the armadillos.
I think it's just because of all the cars driving.
No, because you see them all the time on the side of the road on the armadillos and the raccoons and whatever else.
I guess they just didn't. They weren't really craving deer that day. I don't know.
This last month, yeah.
Next, we show the outline of what we suspect is raccoon roadkill.
Yep, there's his little paw. I can see his little paw. My paw. Oh, okay.
Now, eagles usually eat fish, but they're opportunistic feeders, and they'll feast on whatever they can find.
Oh yeah, I've told the story a couple times of being in the lake while they were picking off the baby ducks. I'm not a duck.
Back in Washington State.
Yeah,
I love bald eagles. They're amazing birds.
They're way bigger than however big you think they are.
They're
double
always
that.
Bigger.
They're huge.
They're gigantic.
All right, next up, community rallies behind kids after lemonade stand robbery. Somebody robbed a kid's lemonade stand? How low can you get?
Well, you can run for president. Anyway.
What started out as a disappointing day for 2 young siblings, Rebecca and Joshua Caldwell, quickly turned into an inspiring beacon of hope and community support. Well, yeah, you got bikers involved. Bikers are always awesome.
Bikers are cool.
You get bikers involved, you're home free. The story, oh, look how cute they are. Oh, look at little cute little curly-headed kids. The story began last week when siblings eager to earn a little pocket money. So I feel like you should be doing the Tales of Modern Horror. The story began last week.
The story begins last week when the siblings, eager to earn a little pocket money, set up a lemonade stand.
But what was supposed to be
I can't run that for an entire article, sorry.
No, please don't. But what was supposed to be a fun summer activity took a sudden turn when a man approached their stand acting interested in buying lemonade and then stole their money jar. And I use the word man with those big quotey fingers I've been talking about. That's not a man.
When someone who might probably possessed a penis approached the stand.
The incident captured on the family's home security camera showed the thief making off with about $40 in cash. He steals from a little kid's lemonade stand.
$40 and wasn't even worth it, son.
No. He probably got him at least one fix. News of the robbery spread quickly through the Caldwell's neighborhood and beyond, sparking outrage and strong desire to make things right for the kids. Determined not to let this experience dampen their spirits, Rebecca and Joshua set up their lemonade stand again the following set. Good for you! Get back on that lemonade horse. I don't know what I just said.
I have no idea, but I get the spirit in which it was meant.
What happened next was nothing short of remarkable. More than 600 people from the community came out to support the siblings. Firefighters, police officers, city council members, and even members of a couple of motorcycle groups rolled up to the Caldwell home to buy lemonade. So cute. And what I love is they weren't just handing them cash. They were actually making the kids do the work. I think it's adorable. By the end of the day, Rebecca and Joshua had raised $6,200.
Dang.
I love how the reporter
wrong
felt it was
line of work.
necessary to tell us that far exceeded the amount they lost. Thank you, Captain Math. Golly, do you think 6,200 is a little bit
Thanks,
more than
Pythagoras.
40?
Yeah, we'll just move forward.
Police have captured and arrested the 19-year-old man responsible. Yay! The kids told the local news station they have already forgiven him.
Well, if I got $6,200 out of it, I'd be forgiven
They
too.
could probably pay his bail. All right.
Okay. This is my favorite story of the week.
Oh, this is
Easily
fun. This is
my
so
favorite
much fun.
story
I
of
actually
the
went to
week.
their website just because it was so much fun.
Mammoth Cave National Park, known for being the world's longest cave system, which I want to go to sometime.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
fun.
cool.
Recently found itself in an unexpected spotlight after being ranked the third most disappointing tourist attraction in the U.S. by a new
I
study.
want to know what 1 and 2 were.
I have no idea. Okay, a study scoured reviews on sites like Google and TripAdvisor, analyzing 1 to 3 star ratings, blah, blah. But instead
Disappointment, subpar.
yeah, subpar and yada, yada.
Yeah, it does kind of look boring. That's a lot of stairs.
Yeah. But instead of shying away from the critique, Mammoth Cave National Park took the ranking in stride, and their hilarious response has gone viral. This is what they wrote on Facebook. Now, I'm reading this verbatim. I don't care how long it is because
It's
brilliance.
totally worth it.
Come experience what has disappointed millions of people for over 225 years. Mammoth Cave National Park recently rated as one of the most disappointing U.S. tourist attractions. While we think the world's longest cave system in over 4,000 years of human history is amazing, others find that the cave is very dark, and there is nothing cool here to see.
Wait, a cave is dark?
Dark and nothing cool to see. It's a cave.
And
Morons.
that's...
Anyway, if you would like to experience the disappointment of Mammoth Cave, visit our website and choose from one of our many activities that will leave you unfulfilled. You can be disappointed by a dry... I would have written this. This is great. You can be disappointed by a dry hole with very few stalagmites and stalactites, or discover nothing other than trees on over 80-plus miles.
For those who are listening blindly, those are actual quotes from actual reviews.
Yeah.
A dry hole with very few.
Or discover nothing, quote, other than trees, end quote, on over 80-plus miles of hiking, biking, horseback riding, and water trails. Sounds like heaven to me. Fair warning, there are bugs in the outdoors, cellular phone service is spotty, and there are stairs on some of our cave tours. The best line is the last one. A world of regret awaits you at Mammoth Cave. Of course, it's gotten a lot of love online.
Yeah, I like
the
Top Gun. Now that's marketing. I love hating things. Sounds totally lame. I'm in. All right, so I looked it up. Do you have any guesses? The number 1 most disappointing tourist attraction?
Graceland?
Kennedy Space Center.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, ranks 1 to 3 star review, 20.19%. One user on TripAdvisor stated that the center was a huge disappointment, while another said it was the biggest waste of money. Next up, this is going to hurt your soul. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 19.61%. People say left very disappointed, warned to save your money.
We went to what's now called the M Pop in Seattle, which is
I really enjoyed that.
That was great.
I learned a lot.
And that's sufficient for me. I don't need to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Besides, when I went to, when I lived in Washington State, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had a touring exhibit, and they landed at the Super Mall near where I lived, near where we used to live.
Yeah.
And there was a photograph.
Back when it was a mall.
Yeah. And there was a photograph of Bono, during rehearsal for a show in L.A. It happened to be the show that I saw, which I thought was really, really cool.
Mr. Name Dropper over here.
Look, it's not like I had lunch with the guy. It was way off in the boonies of the seats I could afford with my lovely date at the time.
Oh, wow. The White House is number 8. People really don't like the... Oh, Graceland is number 10. So Graceland made the top 10 of most disappointing.
We're still going.
We're still going.
I've been there, and yeah, it's a tourist trap, but you got to experience it. If you're an Elvis fan, go see it. Total tourist trap. Bring $100 to buy a shirt. It's fine.
$100 to buy a shirt?
I don't know.
For reals?
I don't know. Okay.
All righty, we have
we
got
wrap up
one
our
final
section.
story. That's a lot of fun. I watched the video of this, and it's not really worth watching, but she's darling. 102-year-old woman becomes Britain's oldest skydiver. I wonder who ours is. To inspire people in their 80s or 90s not to give up anything. So this lovely, look at that beautiful smile.
She's a lovely lady.
She's a cutie pie. And I thought the reason I'm not showing the video is because she had her eyes closed the entire time. I don't think she even saw the darn thing anyways. 102-year-old woman has become the oldest skydiver in Britain after jumping out of a plane at 7,000 feet. Daredevil Manette Bali celebrated her latest birthday this month with a tandem skydive at Beccles Airfield in Suffolk, England, her first ever parachute jump. So it's one of those tandem ones where he does all the work. So all she did was hold on for dear life and keep her eyes closed.
Still, for a woman
I wanna
over
know,
100, that's pretty badass.
What I want to know is how she kept her glasses on.
She had her glasses on the whole time?
The whole time. And I don't know how she kept them on. Yeah, see, look.
I'll be darned.
Her glasses are on.
Must have been like...
And so the guy who's filming, he keeps trying to get her to open her eyes, and he keeps like gesturing to her and stuff. Her eyes are closed the entire time. It's hilarious. So everything went as planned. She said she was breathless after the jump, which also raised money for charity. Oh, see,
Rock
now
and
I love her
roll.
even more. It was a bit scary, she admitted in an interview. I must admit, I shut my eyes very firmly.
Very firmly.
At some point, you're like, okay, I'm up here. I might as well look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her eyes were shut the entire time. I just want other people who are getting toward 80 and 90 not to give up anything, like the presidency. Manette, who served during World War II in the Women's Royal Navy, wow, she was a Wren, has also had a thirst for adventure. So it's like the equivalent of the wax, right? Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, for her 100th birthday, she marked the century with a visit to Silverstone Circuit racetrack, where she got behind the wheel of a Ferrari, speeding along at 130 miles per hour. In fact, she still drives her own car.
She's going to live to be 112 or 190 or something.
She's a spry old broad.
Crazy.
I wonder what she eats. I've been so lucky to be fit and well that I've got to do something with it. That's really the back of it. Oh, she probably has an accent. I just can't waste it. Other people are crippled with arthritis, and I'm not. I'm crippled with arthritis. She said her secret to living a long and fulfilling life is community, friends, and being among people. So she raised money for renovations on her beloved Benhall Ex-Servicemen's Village Social Club, where her birthday party will take place. It was built 80 years ago for ex-servicemen after the war. The Benhall Village Hall started as a rickety tin hut for those coming home from the war, and she plays a lot of board games there. I want to do it to help the next generation. Her advice to people reaching their elderly years, just keep going.
Darling, I'm going to do just that.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not going to play the because basically this is all you see is her with her eyes closed. She's adorable. What they don't show in the video, though, is the landing, which I would really like to see, because sometimes those are pretty rough, but she's strapped to a pretty burly guy, so she should be okay. All right, folks. Well, that is news of the weird and wonderful. We're going to head on over to This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. But first, let's hear from Chuck.
And now CCW News presents Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening! Catching Up Edition, August 26, 2024. I'm Chuck U. Farley. The Harris-Biden regime proudly took credit for creating millions of new jobs, which arguably they did. Created like a killer clown in a Stephen King novel. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, 818,000 of those jobs never existed. Great Britain has given up its long tradition of colonizing and civilizing foreign lands and is now importing barbaric foreigners to colonize Britain. The UK government has declared that if you post anything that may hurt someone's fifis, especially about any imported colonists, they will find you, extradite you, and imprison you, all in the name of freedom. Disney has canceled Season 2 of The Acolyte because it turns out the real Star Wars fans aren't interested in lesbian space witches. Disney this week also released the refurbished trailer of their live-action version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which has become Snow Brown and the Seven CGI Nightmare Inducers. Meanwhile, at the DNC, A black woman with a net worth of $3 billion and who charges $2.5 million to give a speech rambled on about how she was held back by income inequality based on her race and gender. Also at the Demon Rat Convention, babysitters allowed Joe Biden out of his basement long enough to go on a midnight rant during which he cried, lied, and couldn't hide the fact that he'd been taken out like his speech delivery. Old Yeller. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening. I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. I think Chuck had a lot to say.
He did indeed.
Let's head on into... now see, that's why we can't have nice things. Okay, this one... I am going to show the video of this kid because there's something going on here. I'm not sure what's going on here. First of all, I feel terrible for this kid because he did positively nothing wrong, and the teachers completely spazzed out over nothing. And they're basically torturing this child, which is kind of what teachers do now. So I'll let you read a little bit about it because I'm probably going to rant a little bit. And then I'm going to play the video of this poor kid because there's something going on with this kid. I'm not sure. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something going on.
All righty.
I just skipped to the new normal, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. So we can play.
No, that's okay. I can play and go back to, let's see here. I saw Jim like flailing about trying to figure out what. Okay, let's try this. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. We'll come back to the kid in a minute. Don't worry, we'll come
back.
back.
Come back to the oddball kill later. All
yeah.
Right. This is out of New York State. Thomas Brienza, age 20 of Centereach, was arrested on Saturday, August 24th in North Charleston, South Carolina. The Post and Courier in Charleston reported he faces charges of threatening to use a weapon of mass destruction for an act of terrorism, according to court filings. In the video, dude approaches an officer at the airport and says he doesn't want any trouble before claiming to have a bomb and a strap. And
I don't want any trouble.
I don't want any
That's
trouble.
how
you always want to stop an officer and say you don't want to start
I don't want any trouble. Yeah,
that's the first thing. That's
read. Yeah.
He claimed to have a bomb and a strap, a nickname for a gun in his car in the parking lot, the paper said. He also claimed there was fentanyl inside the vehicle.
How can that be not wanting trouble?
We'll find out. There's a reason he did this. None of that was true. Brienza filmed the crime.
Oh, please tell me it wasn't for TikTok. Please tell me it
All
wasn't
right,
for
I won't
TikTok.
tell you it's for TikTok.
Oh, no.
You said not to say it was for TikTok, so there it is. Using a hidden camera and a pair of glasses, that video was not uploaded to his social media pages because the police confiscated it. He would later tell investigators that he did not understand the severity of his actions. I call malarkey, monkey shines and baloney on that.
Yeah.
However,
all the things, I call every last thing on that one.
Yeah, however, that will likely not help him, as pleading, it's just a prank, bruh, is not an affirmative defense in court.
No, it's not.
Brienza was at the airport with others to pick up a buddy. His friends who rode with him told police they did not know he planned to do this, the state newspaper said. Brienza's TikTok account, at Tom the Troll,
of course,
has more than 300,000 followers. Y'all ought to leave him, dude. It's filled with the kind of videos expected of someone who self-identifies as a troll.
I'm sad that many people are interested in a jerk like this.
It's the new America.
Well, you can't blame Trump on this because these are all liberals.
In Steve Martin quotey quotes, his comedy content consists of him harassing customer service workers, videos of him approaching law enforcement officers to claim he already has or plans to commit a crime, and bothering unhoused people on the street. Why is he not in jail?
I'm going to buzz by really fast because he's got bad words in there, but yeah. I'm not even going to play the video because I don't want to give this.
Yeah,
all my homies hate Liverpool, police cops, prank funny.
A judge ordered Brienza held on a $100,000 bond. Court records show he uploaded a video after being released from jail, said, "Life is beautiful, don't take it for granted." He also quoted the Bible's Jeremiah 29:11, says, God has a plan for our
I
prosperity.
don't think it's harassing people.
If convicted, Brienza faces years in prison. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, aforementioned God. According to federal sentencing guidelines, he could also likely be added to the no-fly list. Yeah, definitely at least do that.
Yeah.
A call to phone number connected to Dum Dum was not immediately returned.
Yeah, well, dum-dum can be dum-dum.
That was just...
Criminy. That's over the top,
And
stupid.
speaking of doing dumb things...
Oh, now how dumb are we? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah,
people.
baby.
We gotta stop this because we're just giving them... A Caroline High School student was arrested Wednesday morning. Now, see, you read all of these, and then the kid that we're going to read about later is like, what? A Caroline High School student was arrested Wednesday morning after a deputy in an unmarked sheriff's office vehicle pulled him over. Make words be bigger. Was later determined to be a toy gun from his waistband while pretending to argue with... Oh, he was pretending everything? So spotted him pull what was later determined to be a toy gun from his waistband while pretending to argue with another student. So he staged the whole thing.
Yeah.
The deputy ran toward the student and implored him, drop the gun, drop the gun. Yeah, probably. I can hear the imploring now. According to a statement from superintendent, the student complied and dropped the gun, which was later found to be a toy Glock that shoots foam projectiles. Okay, those things have orange tips and look positively nothing like real guns. They have bright orange tips. They have to by law. And they look nothing like toy guns.
So...
I mean, they look nothing like real guns. I mean, it'll be like a Glock style, but I mean, it's very obviously fake.
Not that obvious. When
The
a
student
cop,
with the pretend weapon is now facing legal and school-based consequences. It was a toy. Folks, a toy. Carolyn Sheriff Scott Moser told the Free Press that the student is facing charges of possession of a firearm on school property, but he didn't and wasn't, and brandishing a firearm, which he did not possess and was not brandishing. He was then transported to... See, this is a way overreaction.
I agree.
Way overreaction.
Totally agree.
A message was sent to parents informing them of the incident and reiterating students and staff safety. A second update from the principal let parents know that the day was proceeding as scheduled because he had a piece of plastic that was a toy and shot Nerf bullets. You morons! Yeah, what he did was stupid, but it was a toy. A toy. See, and this is why they've made public schools shooting galleries. Because these chicken idiot morons are so terrified of any boomstick. Even if it's fake plastic and not real, they spaz out. Meanwhile, the real gunmen are, look what a bunch of children these are. Look what a bunch of absolute, just crazed, terrified lunatics. I can come in and do whatever I want because these, I'm really trying not to use the P word because you know I want to, are going to just completely let me get away with, I mean, even the cops now will just let you completely get away with whatever. You can walk in, shoot up a school, they don't care.
Right.
They'll stand outside, you know, getting hand sanitizer while they're waiting for you to finish up. Calvert said that while the student perceived the incident as a joke amongst friends, Caroline Public Schools has a zero tolerance for this type of behavior. Parents, it's crucial that you discuss with your students the seriousness of any behavior that suggests violence, harm, or threats to others. It didn't. It was a toy. Even if intended as a prank joke, such behavior is unacceptable and will result in severe consequences. Okay, so can we say the same thing when a teacher threatens to cut off a child's genitals? When they fly a pride flag that's directly harming a child, can we say the same thing for that? Where's the no tolerance for that? The kid had a plastic toy.
Still, it was unwise to do that.
But yeah, I'm not saying I'm 100% behind the kid, but this is way overreaction. What this is saying to students is that adults have lost their ever-loving minds and cannot be trusted. That they're gonna over-punish. And what do you bet? Because I noticed that we don't have a picture of the kid.
Well, no, because he's a minor.
Because he's a minor. But what do you bet if the kid was black, he probably would have walked?
I don't know. It shouldn't matter. I mean, it's still.
But
it was dumb.
It's racist now to discipline black children.
Well.
So you're not allowed to discipline them at all.
Well.
Even still, this was a complete over. I don't care if the kid's purple. This was a ridiculous overreaction. Oh, there was a article on the one that we were just on that was related to this. Next article that I wanted to look at. No, it wasn't that one. It's the one before it. Okay, you go ahead and start this one, and I'm going to find the other one because this is terrifying.
Yeah, because especially since this brand is considered the high end.
Yeah, and it's quite ubiquitous everywhere you go. I mean,
you can get it all over the country.
We get it in our HEB, so it's kind of terrifying.
U.S. Department of Agriculture inspectors turned up dozens of violations at a Boar's Head plant in Virginia, now linked to a nationwide recall of deli meats, according to new records released by the department, including mold, mildew, and insects repeatedly found throughout the site. Last month, Boar's Head recalled all of the deli meats made at its plant in Jarrett, Virginia, after a listeria outbreak was blamed on products.
All of them?
All of the deli meats made at this one plant in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just Virginia.
After a listeria outbreak was blamed on products distributed from the site.
I'm not even sure what listeria is. That's a virus of some sort, right?
Yeah, you got me. I wasn't planning to look it up, so.
Well, I just think you should.
All right. I'll do that I'll read while you look it up. The outbreak has grown to 57 hospitalizations in more than a dozen states linked to recalled products from the plant. At least 8 deaths have now been reported.
Yeah, here's one of them. This is the article I was just talking about. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says 6 more have died from. Oh my gosh, people are dying from this. Over 50 people have been hospitalized.
Hostile baptized. Okay.
Okay. Biggest listeria outbreak since 2011. 71 items.
Okay, it's a bacteria. So go ahead. I'll just say it's a bacteria.
Million pounds.
It's a bacteria. So anyway, at least 8 deaths have now been reported.
Is it a specific thing or is it a bunch of different stuff? 71
What do you mean
items.
a bunch of different stuff?
Oh, it is 71. I'm just wondering, because we just had roast beef like a week ago.
Not from Boar's Head.
Yes.
Well, we didn't catch it, so we're good.
Well, when does it show? Is it immediate?
I don't know, babe. I'm not a scientist.
Well, why not? What's wrong with you?
This is all right, at least 8 deaths have now been reported, he said again, including new fatalities linked to the outbreak in recent days from Florida, Tennessee, New Mexico,
Okay, so
and
now
South
we're
Carolina.
up to 50 hospitalizations and 12 deaths. This is terrible.
This is the largest listeriosis outbreak since the 2011 outbreak linked to cantaloupe, CDC said Wednesday. Did somebody say cantaloupe?
Max loves cantaloupe.
He loves cantaloupe.
We happen to have one in the refrigerator, so he'll probably have breakfast with me tomorrow.
Yep. Samples from unopened products distributed from Boar's Head plant were found by the authorities in multiple states to be contaminated with the bacteria Listeria monocytogenes. Genetic sequencing linked the bacteria from the products to the strain driving the outbreak. People are urged to double-check their fridges for the recalled meats and to clean any surfaces that might have touched them. Consumers who are unaware of the recall may have eaten recalled products. Blep. People may also have a prolonged course of illness. Blep. A spokesperson for South Carolina's Health Department said in a statement following the new deaths. Records released by the USDA's Food and Safety Inspection Service to CBS News through FOIA Act request tally 69 records of noncompliances flagged, but 69 over a year at the plant.
And they're still open?
That was my question. What the poop? It's unclear whether Boar's Head will face any penalties by the USDA for the repeat issues. If they don't, they're not doing their job.
Why is it unclear?
Why would the USDA even exist if they didn't punish this?
They must own somebody.
Reports published by the agency so far show no enforcement actions taken against the company in the past year. A USDA spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. They never do. That's required to be put in every article about everything. Not able to reach for comment.
That's because they try to reach them 5 minutes before the deadline.
Right. In a statement, a Boar's Head spokesperson said the company deeply regrets the impact of the recall and said that food safety is their absolute priority.
Yeah, I'm buying that as much as I'm buying everything.
Food producer, the agency has inspectors in our Jarrett, Virginia plant every day, and if at any time inspectors identify something that needs to be addressed, our team does so immediately, as was the case with each and every issue raised by the USDA in this report. Company spokesperson Elizabeth Ward-Bott said. The bot was thrown in by me. All operations have been suspended.
I
The
think
Jared
folks
plant,
could've figured
thank
that one out.
Jeebus, Ward said, and the company is working to disinfect the plant and retrain employees. How about rehire new employees?
How about bleach the place, burn it down, and start over?
Yeah. No product will be released from the plant until it meets the highest quality and safety standards. During this time, we partnered with the industry's leading global food safety experts to conduct a rigorous investigation to get to the bottom of the events leading to this recall, said Wardbot. Beyond issues like paperwork lapses and leftover meat on equipment.
Wardbot.
Seriously, paperwork lapses and leftover meat on equipment?
Ew.
Ugh. I don't know if I ever want to touch that brand of food again.
I don't think I will.
That's a shame.
Black mold-like substance was seen throughout the room.
Bleh.
Bleh. Other locations were found. So this is like company-wide. Condensation dripping over a product.
Well, it says other locations other locations within that same plant, not other locations.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a multiple plant. So, yeah.
No, it's just one plant.
Green algal growth.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a DEI program. Just asking.
Always going there, Melanie. Always going there.
You know me. Got to pick at the scab. Speaking of scabs.
Small flying gnat-like insects were observed crawling on the walls and flying on the room. Rooms had heavy meat buildup. The room's walls had heavy meat buildup. Close it down. Keep it closed. Change the name of your company.
I'm just curious.
Oh my God. They also found a beetle and a roach and some ants.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not making that up?
Last paragraph.
A beetle and a roach and not just ants traveling down the wall, as well as a beetle and a cockroach. Well, I mean,
it's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna get a couple of bugs. It's just inevitable. But that's just black.
It looks like they're recalling everything, so I think they're pretty much out of business.
They're going to take a definite hit.
I
mean, their stuff's overpriced to begin with. I mean, you get the quality, but that used to be my favorite deli brand, and now it's like I'm just going to stick to the store brand. Heck, I'll go back to Oscar Mayer. I don't care. Just
I would go out of my. Oh my gosh, there's like cafes named after them and everything. I mean, they were like the. They were like the shizzle. I'll tell you what.
They were known for high quality.
At least when you go to the website, the first thing that comes up is their.
I would think they'd
recall.
be required to, but yeah.
But I mean, how would you know? You wouldn't think to look. Recipe.
I do like that counterculture. That's cute. Nice and deli counter.
Oh, I get it. Counterculture. Okay, because these are the guys they'll slice it for you and give you a sample right there. Mm-hmm. I used to mystery shop, and we'd have to get these guys. Mm-hmm. I want to know.
You actually were specifically for Boar's Head.
Specifically for Boar's Head, yeah.
Went to I don't know. I guess we could tell them most of it, but
wow, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to give away too much. No. They did know.
It's let's just say
since
it was a division of a major grocery company that's merging with another major grocery company,
which is pretty much all. Wow, 1905, and they might have just lost.
Yeah, this is going to bite them in the boar's head. This is not
sad.
Because their stuff was really good. Their deli meats were incredible, but I won't touch them anymore. I won't. Not knowingly.
Yeah, they're going to have to come out. Let's see what they're hiring for.
Hiring for everything, please.
Please, anybody?
They need to hire quality control.
It looks like they're not hiring. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, God. I actually feel sorry for these guys. I really do.
Yeah, because there were numerous plants around the country, but it only takes one like this that's poorly managed.
Yeah.
Actually, it sounds like it was on the verge of not being managed at all. Okay, stop showing me the charcuterie and the honey and the yum and the yummy yum. Don't do that.
No more yummy yums.
But come on now.
I know. It's like barbecue.
You know how I am.
It's like barbecue. You could have literally just eaten, but then you smell barbecue and.
Heck, driving by a Burger King that does it for me. Just.
Oh, I don't know if I want to read this story. These ones hurt my heart.
It's local. It involves fellow members of our faith.
This makes me sad.
It's sad, but I think...
Summer was off to a tumultuous start when allegations of child SA, you're not allowed to say these things, surfaced on a blog dedicated to Christian survivor stories. This time, the man involved had gone on to lead one of America's largest megachurches. Why? Why is it always a megachurch? Robert Morris, who founded and led Gateway Church, I've heard about that church.
Yeah, they're
For nearly
huge
25 years in the affluent Dallas-Fort Worth suburb of Southlake, Texas, resigned after the scandal came to light in June. His exit sent thousands of evangelicals into a season of struggle that has lasted months. Yeah, I think I would absolutely fall apart if I found out our pastor was even remotely involved with this. Last week, a pastor who oversaw all of Gateway's campuses departed amid an undisclosed, quote, moral issue, becoming the latest in a series of charges for the church, the cancellation of its annual conference. Wow. That's not a sentence. They literally wrote the cancellation of its annual conference, period. That's not a sentence. This is CNN. CN frickin' N.
This is CNN.
The cancellation of its annual conference. That is not a sentence. That is a fragment. Shame on you, CNN. If you need an editor, call me. The departure of Morris's successor.
Hold on, you'd work for CNN?
No. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're trying to be all bullet listy and cool. Okay, becoming the latest in a series of changes for the church, colon. But see, then they capitalized the, and then they put periods at the end of it so they don't know how to punctuate.
Okay.
So the should not have been canceled.
So technically it
should not have been capitalized, and there should have been either a comma or a semicolon between the next
This
three
grammar
things.
lesson has been brought to you by...
Just punctuation and... Passionate Punctuation is a book that I am actually working on, and I'm going to try to have ready here soon for Christmas gifts. I mean, because, nothing says I love you, Merry Christmas like a book on punctuation.
If it is engaging and well written, as I know yours will be, there'll be a market for it.
It'll be aimed to kids. So, one of my favorite books of all time is Eat, Shoots, and Leaves.
I was just thinking of that one,
Yeah.
Eat, Shoots, and Leaves. There's
This
a panda
one's-
with a gun in his hand.
and this one's more geared to kids because that book is amazing, but it's definitely not for kids. Okay, so what they meant to say. Last week, a pastor who oversaw all of Gateway's campuses departed amid an undisclosed moral issue, becoming the latest in a series of changes for the church, colon, or the mark of expectation, lowercase t, the cancellation of its annual conference, comma, the departure of Morris's successor, comma, and the renaming of its Houston campus and an exodus of worshipers. I don't like the fragments because it threw me off, so boo. At each weekend service, worshipers continue to face reminders of the scandal. They didn't really tell us much, so the problem is when you don't tell the whole story, a lot of us are really creative and will probably make up something worse than what it really is. So I'm thinking pretty awful things right now, and I really wish I did not have that imagination. So basically this church exploded because the leader is sick and needs to be... I don't know how much more of this I'm going to read. The congregate's difficult and uphill season as interim teaching pastor Max Lucado. They got Max Lucado as an interim Holy smoly! If you're going to get an interim pastor, that's the one to get. Called it a sermon last weekend, beginning in June, when Cindy Kleshmar's account of abuse was published in the Wartburg Watch, a church watchdog blog. It's an interesting name for it. Clemshire 54 said that she was unfavorably touched when she was just 12 years old. It started Christmas Day and continued until she told her parents in 1987. Okay, so this is all like stuff back when I was 12 years old. Like literally 11 and 12. Surely, so it's just now coming out? Shortly after the allegations surfaced, Morris admitted to having inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady in the 1980s.
You're starting to know the answer now that you were asked a few minutes ago.
Ew.
Aren't you sorry you asked?
Yeah, ew.
Yeah.
In its initial response, Gateway Church said the pastor had been open and forthright about moral failure. Okay, there's moral failure, and then there's diddling kids. That took place when he was in his 20s and working at another church and had a 2-year restoration process, according to statements. Okay, so he was barely out of childhood himself. It wasn't until days later that Morris resigned from his role. In a statement announcing the resignation, the Board of Elders of Gateway. Okay, I don't want to read anymore. So basically, this isn't current. This is all stuff that came to light from 40 years ago.
Right.
I mean, it sucks. And yeah, shame on him. Okay, so now we have another. Houston church cuts ties. This church is like all kinds of messed up.
Well, we wouldn't be going to any of them anyway. They're out of the area.
No.
But still. I mean, the closest we've come is when we were at Central Christian Church and they had that guest pastor who was just on fire and we loved him, and he turned out to be just like that. He was cheating on his wife, and
Oh.
yeah, it was a major
Is it
scandal.
the guy I think
I don't know. He's black.
yeah, I was thinking the big black guy.
Yeah, and
'Cause he was great.
Yeah,
So it
he
turned
was
out
one
he
of the
was
best
a
preachers I've ever heard.
Rat
but,
bastard.
Yeah. So
That makes me
Yeah,
sad. That makes
he
me
left
really
his mega
sad.
church in Atlanta, and his wife and now former wife and he are arguing and saying he did this and she did that. And
See,
blah.
folks, I know a lot of non-believers will point to the church and say, see. Power corrupts. And, you know, these mega churches, I'm not dissing on them. At the same time, we're supposed to build communities. Like today when we were at a Bible study right before we finished our show, which is why our show is posting late for those of you who are here at 8 o'clock. He basically said, this is your tribe. This is where we come to share and pray. It should be a small family unit. And these mega churches, you can just get lost. And then you get the power and you're in charge of so much like that, and that power corrupts. And it takes...
I don't know how Judd does it, because you can just tell he's not the kind of person to ever do that. But then again, I thought that was a guy who's the kind of person.
Okay, not saying nothing about Judd. Not saying nothing about Judd.
No.
Just...
No.
But what's sad is now we're saying something about Judd, you know? It's
Right.
like, I don't know. You don't go to church. I mean, church is supposed to be like a hospital for the soul. You don't go to church if you're well. You don't go to the hospital if you're well. We're broken. We need church.
We need God.
But we need to worship Christ,
It's
not
not-
the guy
yeah.
up front.
It's not about the preacher.
It's
the
not
preacher's
about the music.
just there
It's not
to
about the, you know...
facilitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens a lot of time as you get this cult. I mean, that's what this cult of personality. I'm not saying the religion is a cult, but I mean, that's what they're trying to tag us with Trump. Well, we can talk smack about him. We can say that there's things he's done that we don't like.
Easily.
We can leave the plantation and still be welcomed. Well, it's not a plantation, but you get the idea. We can leave the silo. We can walk away and still be welcomed back. You can't do that on the other side. You cannot do that. They will not welcome you back. You are destroyed. And when somebody betrays the church, when they turn their backs on Christ like this, I mean, that's a redemption walk they're going to have to walk, but they're going to have to do it away from the church and away from kids.
Definitely.
I don't even know what to say. My heart is just broken. I mean, this is where people go.
Well, all the scandals with the Mars Hill Church in Bellevue. You know,
I barely remember that.
it's just one thing after another.
I
know
barely
if-
remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, quick prayer out there for the folks who may have some boar's head in their refrigerator. Lord, we hope they find out that they need to toss it.
Find out the good way, not the other way.
Exactly, and have them pull it out and have it be like bright green and wearing a leather jacket with extra piercings and whatever it takes. Get that food away from them, and for God's sake, please, please, please don't let any children eat it, please, Lord. cruising right along. Let's get into the new and the
This is not Bubble Waters. It is no longer 2020. But this is your new abnormal.
You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. When all else fails, just be lovely. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That we are guided by what we see that can be, unburdened by what has been.
And being a bitch.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Can I just ask one simple question?
Why would anybody vote for that?
Oh, it was going to be a little funnier than that.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
well, what kind of dressing do you think she likes with her word salad?
I don't know, but we're going to make Kamala croutons.
Definitely doing Kamala croutons.
Yeah, definitely. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
I fell out of the coconut tree. Never mind.
Yikes. Okay, now we get to talk about the one.
So this is from a city in Texas called Colorado City. That makes sense.
That makes absolute total sense. But, okay, first of all, this really hurts my heart that it's coming out of Texas. And another complete and overreaction from spastic teachers that should be finding another job because they hate children, they hate their job, and they should not be where they are.
Hate their lives.
Mm-hmm. Colorado City, repeating a popular meme, got a 6th grader in Colorado City Middle School escorted out of class, suspended, and arrested. The student was accused of making a terroristic threat.
Was he screaming Allah Akbar?
Well, he
Waving
actually
a
didn't even
scimitar
get to finish his sentence. He said, "My main goal is to blow up." And that's all I could get out before the teacher interrupted me. The full meme is, "My main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know anybody." Blow up as in get big, get famous. Everybody frickin' knows that. So some
Everybody but this
little old
dumb teacher.
little old lady Karen had a fit. They did this to my baby brother too when he was drawing Pokemon cards, saying that he drew a weapon. He wrote the word WEPON, and he's talking about a Pokemon, for crying out loud. And to say that he drew a weapon and have that on his permanent record like the kid was brandishing a gun, this is the same thing. This poor kid. So Kuna Lok Young says he has dreams of making it big as an artist. The student claims his teacher misunderstood the meme. He was quoting by a rapper named Riff Raff and thought he was threatening to blow up the school. Did he say, "I'm going to blow up the school"? No, because the stupid, idiotic, chicken-hearted teacher, who's probably still wearing a COVID mask, stopped him mid-sentence and wouldn't listen to the poor kid. He tried to explain what the meme was, but she didn't believe him. He was immediately taken to the principal's office and suspended. He's a freaking 6th grader.
He's an 11-year-old kid, people.
He said it means to get popular, get a bunch of views, and get famous.
Which it is. I mean,
he
I'm
did
ancient and I know that.
Nothing wrong. The student claims he saw the meme on TikTok. Okay, bad parenting, letting your kids on TikTok. And he says he never imagined he would get in so much trouble for repeating it. He shouldn't have. Your teacher's a moron and needs to be fired. The 11-year-old says last Friday things continued to get worse when the police knocked on the door.
What's all this then?
My dad, that's here in America, right? The United States of America?
Not just the United States, the state, Texas. The Lone Star State.
This is happening
the state
here.
you and I live in.
My dad came in and talked to them. He figured out that I'm getting arrested for a terroristic threat. Are you freaking kidding me? The 6th grader's father, Bino, not even going to try, says his worst fear is that he will have to watch his son get handcuffed and taken to jail. We actually get to hear him say that. Okay, and you can tell by the last names. We got a broken family, different. I'm not really sure what this kid is. He looks Native American, but I want to play the video because there's something off about this kid, but not off-putting like I distrust him, but like he might be special needs and this teacher is an absolute
Bonehead.
douche waffle. Just I can't even think of a strong enough word without swearing.
I think douche waffle was good.
Thank you. Proud of that one. All right, so let's see here.
My mango to blow up. That's all I can get before the teacher interrupt me. But this is the full meme. My mango is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
CounterCultureWISE Young says
sure
his teacher at Colorado
from
City
the
Middle
song
School
itself.
misunderstood the meme he was quoting by a rapper named Riff Raff and thought he was threatening to blow up the school.
My teacher has said you were going to do what? And I explained and sorry. I explained what the meme was, and she didn't believe me.
The student says
Awful
he was
person.
immediately taken to the principal's office and was suspended. After his suspension is complete, the 6th grader says he will attend alternative school for saying, "My main goal is to blow up." But what does this meme actually mean to the 11-year-old?
It means you have to get popular.
Everybody
Get a
knows
bunch
that.
of views and be famous.
CounterCultureWISE Young says he saw
Okay, this school is here in Texas. This looks like a prison. This looks like an institution. No wonder the kids are.
And by the way,
These kids are
I think
bullied.
the thing with the kid is nothing more than a speech impediment.
Is it just a speech? You
Yeah,
think
it
so?
sounds to me like just a speech
Because
impediment.
he didn't seem like he was scary in any way.
No, he just had a speech impediment.
But this school, I mean, you saw it right next to a freeway.
If I went to a
It's just
school like
nothing
that,
but
I'd develop
cement.
a speech impediment. That's
This
like,
is a horrible place. You're sending your
now,
children here.
it looks like it's from a. How do I put this? On a reservation, like it's like Native American, like.
Do we have those here? But even
I
still,
don't
they
know.
have
I
better
don't know. It
schools
just-
than this.
the
Don't they?
popular meme on TikTok, and he never imagined he would get into so much trouble for repeating
They
it.
sent
But he
the
says
cops.
last Friday things just kept getting worse and worse when the police knocked on his door.
My dad came out and talked to them, and he figured out that I'm getting arrested for
He's a sixth
for
grader.
terroristic threat.
The chain of events are very traumatic for CounterCultureWISE Young to recall. He got out of breath just thinking about everything that happened. His father, Bino Villanueva, says his worst fear is that he will have to watch his son get handcuffed and taken to jail.
That's my worst fear. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to walk. I don't know
Okay, he gave his son the speech.
I don't know what would happen. I mean, really, I don't know if I'll freak out. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to collapse already. Since it started, I just keep feeling like I'm going to collapse. I keep thinking about them taking him away.
See, yeah, like I said, there's something going on there. I mean, is that like an Appalachian thing? Did they
I don't know. The apple don't fall far from the tree. I
Yeah.
mean, they both sound like it was a genetic
Well,
speech
the
impediment.
kid is obviously special needs, but that poor little soul, he didn't do anything wrong.
He seems like a sweet young kid.
Yeah.
That's all.
And this
Nobody-
teacher,
needs to get canned.
well,
And I don't. By the way, when I say canned, I don't mean fire to let go. I mean put in cans in supermarkets all across Texas. Pick her up at your local HEB next to the corn. Seriously.
then she'd get recalled because she came out of Boar's Head. My heart just bleeds for this little guy because he didn't do anything wrong. I mean,
Not
he's a
thing.
sixth grader, for crying out loud. This teacher is demented. and to send the cops after him for terroristic threats. He didn't even get a full sentence out. The teacher made it up. This teacher is evil. Evil. Not just mean, not just nasty, not just wrong, but literally evil. Okay, I need a palate cleanser. I don't know about you, but I don't think I could stand this for another second. So let's do something a little bit fun. I found this video. I chopped it up a little bit. But these are, there's no other word for it. Smart-ass kids.
Yeah.
Answering. Some of these you've seen and some of these are brand new. So I sped it up so it'd go a little bit faster, but we can always pause. All right, I consider these my kids. What ended in 1896? 1895. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
You are to assume the role of a Chinese immigrant in 1870 and write a letter home describing your experience. Your letter should include the following: your contribution and experiences in the West.
They wrote it in Chinese.
They literally wrote
That
it in
is
Chinese.
freaking brilliant.
2 pages worth. Look at this kid really, really did that. I wonder if the kid actually was Chinese. I mean, he did his homework. Look at this.
It looked authentic.
It looked authentic to me too. Look at that.
Probably went to Google Translate and
maybe, but look how intricate that is.
Is very intricate.
Yeah, very intricate.
Very intricate
All right.
language.
Would you rather be stuck on an island all alone or with one person you hate, and why? And so the kid writes, I would rather be on an island with someone. Whoops. Okay, now we're going too fast. I would rather be on an island with someone I hate because then I'd have something to eat.
Love it.
Love this kid. These are my kids, I swear. I earn money at home by I don't. I am a freeloader. Happens to be Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie the freeloader.
That's what Frankie the freeloader. He's probably that's what I had to lock everybody out because we were squeaky toying while we're trying to.
Yeah, I know.
The things we do. Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have now? Diabetes. Bob has diabetes. That's really nice handwriting for a high school kid. Math test. That's not even high school. Phil, read each of the problems and come up with a solution for each one. You fell on the playground and scratched your knee. Solution: get up and deal with it. Rub dirt in it. Walk it off.
Old school.
Yeah. Bobby has 4 dimes. Amy has 30 pennies. Which child has more money? Bobby. How do you know? Show your thinking. Kid with a thought bubble that says Bobby.
That's hilarious.
Well, they show your thinking. That's what he did. Showed his thinking.
I would actually just give the kid an A on that.
I would give him points. I'm telling you.
You win.
I definitely would give him points. The man pet the dog, and his choices were fit or hit the dog. So he was supposed to say the man hit the dog, but what the child decided to do was write the man pet the dog. You should not hit dogs. I think that's adorable. You should not hit dogs.
It's also true. You shouldn't hit dogs.
He didn't fit the dog.
Brought to you
I'm
by
sure this
the Humane Society and CounterCultureWISE.com.
Exactly. Brought to you. He also colored in each little drawing there. So yeah, you should not hit dogs. I agree. Good kid. I like that kid. Why would that be an option? The man hit the dog. Okay, this one is my favorite. 10 words I can spell right are. First of all, it would be 10 words I can spell correctly. Number 1 through 7. 10 words I can spell right are octopus 7, 2.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Octopus 7, 2. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm sorry. I'm madly in love with whatever kid wrote that. What do we call the science of classifying living things? Racism.
He's not wrong. The kid's not wrong. I was assuming it was a guy, which is very sexist of me.
It was very sexist of you.
Yeah.
How would you make a marriage work? Tell your wife that she looks pretty, even if she looks like a truck. This is Jim's.
I'd seen that one before, but yeah, that's
Ricky, age 10. He'll be married forever. I think that's Jim's tack, and you're right, honey. Change centimeters to meters. What do? Well, you take out the centi. Boom.
Won't
done.
pass math, but it'll pass English.
Yep. Okay, so this is an example. When I grow up, I would like to be, Toby says, a veterinarian so I can help pets get better. Sophia says she wants to be a baseball player because baseball is fun. Violet wants to be a chef because I like to cook.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Isabella wants to be a ballerina because I love to dance. David wants to be a fireman since I like explosions and fire. Lila wants to be a ballerina because I like when they dance. Anthony wants to be a jet flyer. They're cool. And Albert wants to be a person who stays home and does nothing. I married Albert.
She's not wrong.
A jet flyer.
I'm a lazy sod.
Jet flyer, not even a pilot. He wants to be a fireman because he likes explosions. Okay. A person who stays home and does nothing. I wonder. Yeah, that's. I married Albert. Okay, so here's another example. I am Alina. I like to listen. I like to make pictures. I like writing. I like free choice. I learned to count to 100. Jim takes this exercise and says, when I grow up, I want to be a customer in a store. I will buy broccoli, tomatoes, and carrots. When I get home, I will make soup.
Sounds like me.
It's a good soup, though. Broccoli, tomatoes, carrots. It's a nice vegetable soup. At least he's going to eat healthy. I'm surprised it wasn't pizza. This is one that would get you sent to the principal's office, and probably they'd have the cops called on you for terrorism now.
Probably.
In a word, describe school. Hell. Oh, that's probably how this poor kid feels. What you've done to them. Okay, this is my favorite. So we've got...
You just said you had a favorite.
Well, okay, I can have more than one favorite. That's allowed. I'm a girl. You're the one who has to pick and stick. I get to have... Everybody can be my favorite. Oh, I love you equally. See? Love you. I don't love you more or less. I just love you differently.
Continue.
So this is obviously the beginning of geometry. Name the quadrilateral, and what we have is a square, and a rhombus, and a kite, and a rectangle, a bunch of stuff. And so what our student named them was Bob, Sam, it looks like Tedison, Kate, and Harry. So now these quadrilaterals have names. Yeah. Yep. Alrighty. Congratulations to the quadrilaterals with names.
And I bet in their little head they were thinking it's worth losing the points to.
Maybe, or maybe they took it like this kid took this very, very. What's the word specifically? Directly. What's the word where you literally? Thank you. I literally could not think of the word literally. And then I literally just used the word literally right, and people literally never do that. Literally.
Continue.
So this says right, and then it has less than or greater than. Mm-hmm. But since it's the or is between the brackets, the kid just wrote or all the way down. Because that's what it looks like it's saying. It should say right, whether.
Melanie in 4th grade.
I used to get in so much trouble. I was a literal child, what can I say? Okay, this is going to be Jim's favorite. So he drew a piece of pig. Well, yeah, he drew a piece of pig and a pig. A pig is a pig until it becomes a bacon. The best part is he spelled bacon wrong, B-A-C-I-N. A pig is a pig until it becomes a bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what I'm curious? There used to be this thing called Draw a Pig. Mm-hmm. And you could tell a lot about somebody by how they drew a pig. Ooh, you draw a pig. Draw a pig, but don't look at that pig. You got to draw your own pig. Okay. The personality test. Draw a pig. Everybody, drop everything. Crash, bang, chang. And first of all, hit like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Send this out to everybody you love. Send this out to everybody you hate. Give us a 5,000-star review. If you hate us, only give us 5 stars. That's insulting. You don't want to do 0 or 1 because that's, that's not as noticeable. So only give us 5, and that we'll know that you really don't like us. If you hate everything we do, head on over to CounterCultureWISE.com and click on the tab for the ID10T form, and please fill that out. We will give it the attention that it deserves. If you love us, you can head over to the same place, CounterCultureWISE.com, and there's all kinds of things there you can do. You can send us dough, which we could really use right now. You could buy our crap. We've got lots of merch, lots of fun things. You saw some at the end of the Holy Crap segment, but we've got all kinds of other stuff and more on the way. All right, draw a pig. He drew a pig. Your pig is smiling. All right, so let's do the draw a pig personality test. Let's see what we got here. If the pig is drawn toward the top of the paper, now you drew yours right in the middle. This one, he had to kind of draw it toward the top of the paper. It is right at the top of the paper. You have a tendency to be positive and optimistic. So this kid is positive and optimistic. Toward the middle, you have a tendency to be a realist. Now, I never would have thought that of you, Jim. You know I'm going to have to scan this and post this on our website.
Go ahead.
I love that he's smiling. That's hilarious. Okay, if he's facing left, which is yours, you have a tendency to believe in tradition and be friendly. You may also be prone to remembering dates well. That is very true. I am quite the opposite. This kid's pig is facing right. You have a tendency to be innovative and active, but may be prone to forgetting dates easily and may not have a strong sense of family. I haven't drawn a pig lately, but I probably would have. I probably either would have drawn it straight on or drawn it facing right. Oh no, I would have definitely done facing front. You have a tendency to be direct and may enjoy playing the role of devil's advocate. You're also prone to neither fearing nor avoiding confrontational discussions. Because I would do circle and then nostril, and then ears. And I probably wouldn't have even drawn the body. So, okay, with less than 4 legs showing. Okay, now he has 2 legs showing. The kid does. Jim did draw all 4 legs. So, less than 4 legs showing may indicate you are living through a major period of change, and as a result, you may be prone to struggling with insecurities. Well, he's a kid, so probably. Jim, however, has 4 legs showing. You have a tendency to be secure and to stick to your ideals. However, big surprise, others may describe you as stubborn. Didn't think you could get that much out of drawing a pig, did you?
No.
Okay, I'm going to post this on our website too. Lots of details. Okay, so we have a curly tail. I can't tell if he drew a curly tail. It looks like he kind of has a tail. You have eyeball. No, you did for sure. Your tail actually spelled out the word me. You literally spelled out the word me.
Am
with
I
it.
saying that I am a pig? It wouldn't be
Maybe,
unfitting.
I don't know.
Let's put it that way.
All right. With many details, you have a tendency to be analytical, but may also be prone to being cautious to the point that you struggle with trust. I don't see that in you. With few details, you have a tendency to be emotional and to focus on the larger picture rather than focusing on details as you. You also have a tendency to be a great risk taker.
Because I didn't
and
draw
sometimes
much
prone
detail.
to reckless.
The only detail I did was the curly tail and black hooves.
I like how his back looks like it's a fault line with the rippling.
I drew it quick.
Okay, large ears. I'd say your ears are average. This kid didn't even draw any ears. Large ears indicates how good of a listener you are. Yep.
I just started using hearing aids, so yeah.
Well, hearing and listening are 2 different things.
Well, yeah.
So let's just say his ears are, I'd say they're relatively proportional. With a long tail, indicates how intelligent you are, the longer the better. Well, since you literally spelled out me in cursive. Okay, that was fun. We'll post that on our page. So this is to draw the pig personality test if you've never done this before. They say to allow 5 minutes to draw the pig, and now you have a party trick.
30 seconds. I don't know.
Well, you were in a hurry. You want to get out of here because the AC is off.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, where was the American Declaration of Independence signed? At the bottom.
Dun, 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 dun.
Which is not false. So I can't be
true.
mad at that kid.
It's true. It's very true.
Oh, now I sound like Kamala. Sorry. Well, I feel like my palate has been cleansed. So let's head on into the final segment of our show. We love to leave you on a happy note. So let's head on into Wonderfuller. Here on CounterCultureWISE, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the Wonderfuller. Now, I'm going to admit that I have not yet read this because it's kind of tradition here at the CounterCultureWISE studios that Jim plants this and laughs maniacally in hopes that he's going to make me cry. So here we go. A 10-year-old girl battling cancer, great, thanks a lot, Jim, received the surprise of a lifetime, tickets to see her idol, Taylor Swift, in concert. Kennedy Koch, a
Great
vibrant
name.
and resilient young warrior, that's a good way of describing a little girl, has faced more challenges in her short life than most people endure in a lifetime. Diagnosed with a rare form of cancer at just 2 years old, and she's 10 now, and she's still dealing with it. Oh, baby. Kennedy has spent much of her childhood bravely battling the disease. Hey, she has hair. Boy, does she look like her mama. It all began when a routine visit to urgent care for a common cold led to the discovery of a lung tumor, a consequence of a rare genetic condition called Dicer 1 syndrome. This syndrome makes it difficult for her body to suppress tumors, leading to multiple health battles. Despite the odds, Kennedy overcame her initial diagnosis, becoming miraculously cancer-free after enduring chemotherapy and numerous treatments. However, Kennedy's journey took another difficult turn in January 2024 when doctors discovered thyroid tumors during a routine scan. She underwent surgery and once again showed incredible resilience. But just 6 months later, her condition worsened and doctors found an aggressive uterus. Oh my God, this poor baby! Now at just 10 years old, Kennedy faces the daunting prospect of a hysterectomy at 10 years old, followed by more chemotherapy. Jim, you're a jerk. As she prepared for yet another battle, Kennedy's spirit began to wane. I don't blame her. Her mother, Jody Hill Koch, knew her daughter needed something to lift her up and give her hope. Kennedy, a huge Taylor Swift fan, dreamed of attending the pop star's Eras tour, but with the tour's tickets selling for thousands of dollars, it seemed an impossible dream. I think it's cruel that they sell their tickets for that. That's when the community stepped in. A GoFundMe campaign was launched to help make Kennedy's dream come true, and the response was overwhelming. Strangers all over donated more than $16,000.
Which is going to cover 2 tickets, a hot dog, and a program.
Not a hot dog, no. Maybe a Coke, I don't know. Yeah. Wanting to bring joy to a little girl who has fought hard for so long. Or you could just have Taylor Swift come perform in her living room. In a touching TikTok video, Jody surprised Kennedy with the tickets, and she handed her daughter the envelope. Jody told her, a lot of people love you very much. Kennedy's face lit up with joy as she realized her dream had come true. Kennedy's dream came true. After her first 12 weeks of chemo, she will be going to the Eras tour, captioned the video. I wonder if this will take me to the actual video. Sometimes it do, and sometimes it don't. Watch now. Watch now. Tikataka. Tikataka. Yeah, see, it never goes to the right place. It just takes you randomly to Tikataka. Yeah, I hate that. Kennedy will be attending Taylor Swift's concert on November 3rd. Hey, right before my birthday. Oh, by the way, November 7th is my birthday, so all I want for my birthday is Trump back in office. So get out and vote.
So I don't have to get her anything else,
and
please.
Don't vote for the Screech Owl, otherwise Jim has to buy me something really nice. Since my birthday sucked last year. The final U.S. date of the tour. For Kennedy, this isn't just a concert, it's a beacon of hope and a reminder that she is surrounded by love and support from countless people who believe in her strength. This incredible act of kindness has given Kennedy a reason to keep fighting, proving once again that the power of community love and compassion can bring light even to the darkest of times.
What do you want to get? What do you want to bet that Taylor Swift gets wind of this and does something nice for her?
I bet you anything
I'll bet she does.
Yeah, I bet you anything
she
does.
Happens.
And Taylor Swift, you know, her politics are jacked, but she's otherwise a pretty decent human being. Terrible taste in men, but...
No, great taste in men, because, you know, that gives her songwriting fodder.
Oh, well, there is that. Well, folks, we learned something. Well, it's kind of, for me, it's relearning, but I think this brought a new concept to Jim's mind. And since I'm really feeling the need to leave with a prayer.
Okay.
So sorry for those of you who this makes you feel oogie, but we love you. Just, stick fingers in your ears and go la la la. We learned that the Lord's Prayer, they call it, is really more of an instructional prayer. And I've always thought of it as a template. And I just always found when people get together and music is one thing. That's a communal thing. But when you're all saying the same prayer at the same time, it's more like a chant. And you're not even really paying attention to what you're saying.
I've always, it always feels like wrote to me like when we did it in one of our earlier churches. It just...
And then there's the whole trespasses and debtors and whatever, and that's not what the prayer is about. So I'm gonna make it brief. So don't worry, don't freak out. It's gonna be a short prayer, but I'm gonna use that template. So we pray our Father, and that is the most important part of the prayer. Is that we are communing with a loving parent, a parent who wants the best for us, a parent who would literally do anything for us, a parent who would give their life for us and did. So that's really important. And I love starting my prayers out with Father. And sometimes I'll even say Papa. Our Father, who art in heaven. And that's just a way of saying, you're in charge of things. Hallowed be your name. You are holy. You are good. And praise, what we learned today is you're supposed to go to God because you want to be with him.
It isn't, you don't go in. I mean, if something is important you want prayer for, but he's not a slot machine, he's not an ATM.
Yeah, he's not a vending machine, exactly.
No, not a vending machine. So
and I think a lot of times we do treat him that way, and we have been showered with blessings. We have
time.
A long way to go to get out of the hole that's been dug for us, because we didn't necessarily dig it, but we have been showered with blessings, and we're still here. That song, I'm still
above
standing.
ground and breathing.
Yeah. That song, I'm still standing, I'm still here. And that is because of God. So, Father, thank you so much for being here. You are holy, you are beautiful. And then you put it into his hands, like, kingdom come, thy will be done. I know, Lord, that you want what's best for me, and I want to be your vessel. I want to work for you, Lord. I want to be seen as someone who shines your light. Father, put me in that place where I can do the most, where I can help people the most. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And, he owns it all.
It's all his anyway, to begin with. So
give us our daily bread. Now, our daily bread is basically God. I mean, I think of the song, His Eye is on the Sparrow.
It's our provisions. It's not literal. I mean, it can be literal bread, but
I think it's more than just the physicality of it. Our daily bread is also, like this little girl, the love she received and the hope, and that people cared about her, and with everything she's gone through, that there's that hope and concern. And I hate using the word hope over and over again, but it's like so powerful. I know, that's why I kept it. It's so powerful, especially when the hope comes from God. So our daily bread is not just, food in our belly, roof over our head, but that purr of the cat, and that time that you spend playing ball with the dog, the sunshine on the back of your neck, knowing that you have a tribe that cares about you, that you can get together and ask for help or ask questions, and, get past that hurdle. Those are all part of your daily bread, and so much of that comes from the church. And I don't mean, the church, capital C, but I mean the church, the people that you commune with. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I'm sorry, Lord, I am a screw-up. I am such a screw-up, and Lord, I am not worthy of your forgiveness.
And that also means it's also a check on us to watch how we're judging people.
Exactly.
Because everything that they've done, chances are we've done it ourselves.
And God forgives us anyway. There is I forget the name of the song, but it goes, indescribable, uncontainable, da 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 da. And there's one line in that song, you see the depths of my heart and you love me the same. And that wrecks me every time. And he only says it once. You know, so
Doesn't
you can
only
sing.
needs to sing it once.
Oh, and I can't even I can sing the whole song. You know, you are amazing, God. And you sing along, and he gets to that line, and I am wrecked. Because I think of what is in the depths of my soul and what I've gone through and what I've harbored and how much I've hurt. And I feel completely unlovable. And I think that song, that one line, just really drives home the fact that God loves you. Sometimes not just anyway, but because of who you are and what you've been through. And it doesn't matter, warts and all. God is a loving parent. So if you can be forgiven for what you've done, you need to forgive them for what they've done. If God can forgive you. And our pastor talked today about, I just call him our pastor, it's not even our church.
It's starting to become, but we're not there yet.
You know, how we complain about not having enough or whatever. And if you think about getting what we deserve versus getting the grace of God.
Go on.
I mean, we are so blessed that we don't get what we deserve, at least I am anyways. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil is just saying, help me. As my grandma would say, get thee behind me, Satan, and don't push. Now, I always struggled with that particular line because why would God lead us into temptation? I don't think that's what the translation is. I could go deeper in it, but I don't want to because we're almost out of time. But actually, we've gone way over time.
Way over.
Remember. And we had a lot to say. The thing is, there will always be temptation. We don't need to follow it. We don't need to be led into it. Deliver us from evil, Lord. And I never believed in evil before.
Basically means focus, help us to stay on the straight and narrow is basically what that means.
Whatever is good, whatever is right, whatever is just, whatever is beautiful, focus on these things.
All of the godly things.
Yeah.
Keep us focused on that and concentrate on the
And then we circle back. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. So saying it's all you, God, it's all you. And I trust you. And I love you. And I'm glad you spend time with me. And ladies and gentlemen, I trust you and I love you. And I'm glad you spend time with us. So hopefully I didn't chase anybody away with the prayer, but it was really on my heart. And I will continue to pray for each one of my students, for all of my friends and family.
And we're very thankful for you.
And for you. May you have an amazing week. Go out and do something fun and go out and do something good for somebody. Bye.
CounterCultureWISE is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, CounterCultureWISE.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on BitChute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, "Be a guest on our show."
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.